Live on CBC from coast to coast, it's Hockey Night in Canada. Brought to you by Labatt Blue. A whole lot can happen out of the blue.
From the Pengrove Saddledome, good evening, everybody. Chris Cuthbert and Greg Millen in the broadcast booth. Here's Peter Skudra. Dan Cloutier gets the night off after the clinching of a playoff spot last night. Skudra in his fourth appearance against the Calgary Flames this year, and it could be a night to remember for Mike Vernon. What might be his final start of an illustrious career, and we begin with the two highest scoring lines in the National Hockey League facing off against each other. 52-goal scorer Jarome Iginla has the puck with Conroy and McCammon against the red-hot line of the Canucks. And there's the captain, Marcus Naslund. He looks across. Matthias Olin tees it up. And the first stop of the game by Mike Vernon, who owns the franchise win record here in Calgary. An icing call against the Flames in this opening minute.
A good pace to start off the game already. Matthias Olin certainly will be out against Jarome Iginla for the most part throughout this hockey game. Iginla, what a season. I mean, this guy has done it all for the Calgary Flames, and it's remarkable that he scored over 50 goals playing on a team that doesn't score many goals in this league. And it's quite a credit to the way he has played all season.
So much hardware will be coming his way, honored as the fan favorite player here just prior to the game, and a prolonged standing ovation for number 12. Trevor Letowski is now out, and he'll center a line with Jason Strudwick and Matt Cook. And an offside at the line.
Why don't we now look at the Vancouver Canuck lines, and as you mentioned, Chris, the hottest line in hockey, Naslund, Morrison, and Bertuzzi, but they're getting production from all four lines at different times. Last game it was the Chabarov line, which was great against the Los Angeles Kings. Marcus Naslund, yes, second in the National Hockey League, we know that, in terms of points. And on defense, LaChance and Jovanovski have been an excellent pair. LaChance did quite a job on the number one line against the Los Angeles Kings 2 nights ago.
Here's Cook, nearly getting loose in the Calgary zone, and now winding up Rob Niedermeyer. He's out with Petrovicki and Jeff Schatz, and our congratulations to the Schatz family as Jeff and Jonine celebrating the arrival of a baby boy yesterday that kept Jeff out of the lineup for that huge win by Calgary to play the spoiler in northern Alberta, knock out the Edmonton Oilers last night. But Owen Schatz arrived and Jeff back in the lineup tonight. Here's Letowski in his own zone. Headmans it past Strudwick. Picked off by Lidman, and he'll roll it back in the Vancouver zone. Stuber around on the far side as both teams are changing. Chris Clark banned on the shot. He had the game winner last night at Skyreach. A power play goal in the second period that stood up against the Oilers. Now it's Henrik Sedin spinning it behind the net. Pushed ahead by Igor Kravchuk. Brian Helmer holds the line. And now Sedin working against Kravchuk. A shot wide of the net. Around to the other side. Tipped in by Murray Barron. As the Canucks try to put on the first pressure of this opening period. Clark trying to dig it free. Ruutu back in the lineup. And out with the Sedins. Now Calgary gets control. Kitchener native Jamie Wright on left wing. He feeds it to Scott Nickel. Nickel's shot kicked out by Skudra. And back the other way goes Trevor Linden. Into Chabarov. Chabarov, a quick shot on Vernon. Boy, Artem Chabarov was a tower of strength in the victory over Los Angeles on Thursday night. A 5-2 win. Chabarov scoring in that game. He had the icebreaker in the game, has a chance here, and Vernon smothers the puck.
Well, that's one thing that the Vancouver Canucks have had going for them during this wonderful stretch since Christmas. They're getting production out of a different line every night. Of course, they're getting in most nights from their number one line, but they are getting some nice depth from four lines across the board. Here's a chance by Chabarov, and Mike Vernon well out at the top of the crease and makes a good save to start off his game. And at the other end, Nickel with a shot on Skruda. Skruda will let some rebounds out, and the Flames do have to get to the net tonight if they want to be successful against them.
big lines will be matched up against each other, apparently, for the second straight shift. And could make for a fun night. Here's a Gidlett running it through. And the shot by Conroy wide. Monador unable to keep it in at the line. Now Morris headmans the puck. And Craig Conroy right now in the top 15 in scoring. And Greg Gilbert telling us this morning that, of course, Conroy a huge reason that Jerome McGinley has had such an overpowering season. Here's Bertuzzi, third in league scoring. He is bodied there by Monador. Morrison back to Vic Bertuzzi in behind the net. In the last 8 games for the Canucks, Bertuzzi 6 multi-point games. That's how hot he's been. There's Morris ahead for Dean McCammond. Up Conroy to center. He's checked and we'll get a change. LaChance stepping through center. That's gloved down and up ahead to Iginla. Here's Iginla with a step on Cook. And now following Berube's shot didn't get through. Up comes Mickey DuPont playing in his first game in Calgary as a member of the Flames. His NHL debut was last night as a forward. He's back on defense here this evening. Now Blair Betts, the Sherwood Park, Alberta native. Firing it in, and the Flames have liked what they've seen from the youngster Betts in his first 10 NHL games. Niedermeyer covering at the line. Now it's spun in by Berube. There's Petrovicki putting it out in front off Olin. On the backhand, Littman shot bouncing around in front. Berube looks for it. And finally Cook to the line, kept in DuPont. Looks for Niedermeyer. Taken care of by Strudwick. And the puck out to center.
This could be a tough game for the Vancouver Canucks. Just maybe perhaps a letdown after working so hard to get into the playoffs. We'll see. They've got good pace to their game so far, but Calgary has come to work as well.
Well, this is the first game really in 2002 for Vancouver that hasn't had that must-win tag. Now McCammon skips back in. Here's McCammon snapping it on Skudra. Henrik Sedin takes Niedermeyer to the boards. Route 2 works ahead. Now Daniel Sedin is in, and he is bodied. Good hit there by the captain, Bob Boughner. Kravchuk up for Niedermeyer. And a good opening pace, and the Flames seem to be energized by that win over the Northern neighbors last night. Easy for Calgary to savor that kind of a impact win over their northern rivals, and we know they're still stinging up in Edmonton today after that 2-0 loss last night.
Bob Boughner turned out to be a real good free agent acquisition for the Calgary Flames. He leads the team in penalty minutes. He's a +11, and he shows you how he can hit there. And how about this little play by Iginla on the drop pass? One-handed, he is so strong. And a perfect play to the follow-up man on that one, Berube. What a year Jerome Iginla has had. Interesting talking to Greg Gilbert this morning, saying how much the Olympic Games helped Jerome Iginla when he came back. He just had that much more respect for the game. His work ethic was really something.
Here's Vernon gloving it down, playing it to DuPont. Rolled wide by Halavich after Chubarov, who finished the game on Thursday night, centering Halavich and Linden, and Andrew Castle's getting the night off. Kept in at the line by Wright. And now Matthias Olin up the boards, and it gets by DuPont. He's got to scramble back with Chubarov on his tail. And Littman came across to help the rookie defenseman out. A Calgary native, Littman from his own side of center. Bounced it off a Canuckian. Here's Wright trying to center against Helmer. Up ahead, Naslund. Up ice it goes for Morrison. Linden driving to the net. Morrison hands it off to the captain who had a hat trick in that win over Los Angeles. Marcus Naslund with 88 points on the year. And second to Iginla scoring. One-handed back to the line, Olin. A shot wide. And the Flames send it down the ice. Olin's going to go back and touch it for the icing call. You're watching the 50th season of Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Labatt Blue.
Focus ZTW, engineered in Europe. Exceptional handling for exceptional moments.
Blade 2 is the most original action thriller in years.
Ooh, so exciting.
The New York Times calls it pulse-pounding. It has non-stop action, says the Los Angeles Times. More enjoyable than the original. Fluid, fast, and fun. Snipes is badder than ever.
Not know who you are.
Messing with! Blade 2.
Now playing at theaters everywhere.
At Home Depot, we're striking another blow to lower home improvement costs. Now through April, we'll deduct the cost of sales tax from the purchase and installation price of select merchandise. Great brand names like Thomasville, Primdor, Mills Pride, Levalor, and more. It's our way of making sales tax a little less taxing. And it's just one more way we've got lower prices nailed.
This portion of Hockey Night in Canada is brought to you by Ford of Canada, Canada's #1 choice, and by Home Depot, striking a blow for lower home improvement costs.
The Vancouver Canucks riding the best second half in team history. They have 56 points in the second half of the season to ride into the playoffs. And Mark Crawford was quoting Van Morrison this morning. He said, we're going to the postseason in a full-force gale.
Well, it's been quite a job by Mark Crawford, the coaching staff, and Brian Burke to bring this team along, be patient with them when it looked pretty ugly there before Christmas, and what a role they have had in the second half. 25-9, 3-3 has been their record, and it's really been something to watch. And the fans in Vancouver, boy, are they turned on. It was fun to watch the game the other night against the Los Angeles Kings and see the reaction of all the people in Vancouver right now. They are excited about this hockey team, as they should be.
T.S. Olin sends it in. There's Lidman. Around for Clark, who called the goal last night, the biggest he scored. Which gives you an idea of how serious they do take the rivalry. Scott Nickel along the boards, dueling with Henrik Sedin, and still working it inch by inch down the boards. Letowski will take over. 7:40 into this first period. Still scoreless. Right ahead by DuPont and out to center. And now LaChance and Jovanovski. Henrik Sedin to the line. Delayed offside as Wright regroups. Canucks will make a change, and that gives Wright some room to fire it in on Skudra. He'll chase his own rebound and gets buried by Jovanovski. Picking up the loose puck is Cook. A big pass out of the reach of Strudwick. And Scott Nickel hobbled to the Calgary bench on the change. LaChance dumped at the side of the net, now pushes it ahead with the glove. And Ruutu out to center. It's picked off by Iginla. And he'll play it back in. It's called on the offside. As we look back to Thursday night, the 5-2 win was critical in the Canucks drive to the playoffs. The last 3 Canuck goals scored by their captain.
And boy, was it a close game. I mean, it was 1-1 for the longest time, then 2-1, and then Marcus Naslund just broke the game open with that patent and wrist shot that we've seen so many times in the third period. And then on the breakaways, he squeaks the puck through Felix Potvin's legs, and to seal the victory, a little empty net action. And Marcus Naslund, as so many of the Canucks have been so hot here. 5 goals, 12 points in his last 7 games. And that was, by the way, his 3rd hat trick of the season.
And for the 4th consecutive year, Naslund will lead the Canucks in scoring.
You know, it's funny in that game, the big line for Vancouver really had nothing going the first couple of periods. And all of a sudden in the 3rd period, they just exploded. They can do that to you.
Brendan Morrison was saying this morning, we didn't get over the red line in the first period. Then Mark Crawford started double shifting Todd Bertuzzi. It really negated the matchup that Andy Murray had established in the game, and from there, the Canucks really turned it on. There's Lidman at center. He's checked by Linden. Berube playing in game 999 of his hard-fought NHL career. Boy, he'd love to have one more game this season. Here's Linden on the attack with Hlavich shot, and it's stopped by Vernon.
Boy, Vernon's very sharp so far in this game. He's at the top of his crease and right on the mark.
Hlavich was tugged at center, and now Niedermayer will shovel it in on the backhand. Petrovicki gets a piece of Jovanovski after the puck is sent around the boards. Here's Buchner firing it wide with Petrovicki in front. Now Kravchuk, a wrist shot loose in front. Petrovicki, a couple whacks at it, and Skudra sprawled. Hlavich hauled down, and a penalty upcoming. Oh, Petrovicki comes so close to opening the scoring, and then he'll head off a hooking call against the Calgary winger.
That happens a lot to the Calgary Flames. They get a good chance to score, but then they just freeze instead of keeping their feet moving. And Petrovicki does everything right except score, and then all of a sudden now he finds himself in the penalty box. And let's have a look at the penalty to begin with. As Hlavich battling for the puck. Petrovicki doesn't keep his feet moving, and the minute you do that, you get yourself in trouble. And Hlavich goes down, and Petrovicki in the penalty box. And before that, an excellent chance to score, as the Calgary Flames have had a couple of good ones in this first period of play. Kravchuk throws it towards the net. Good traffic in front. And Petrovicki just doesn't get enough of the puck. As certainly Skruder opened up, and there was some room in the 5-hole, as you can see from our net cam.
First special team situation of the night, and here's one team going to the playoffs on the strength of improved special teams this year. The Calgary Flames not going to the postseason, and Greg Gilbert lamenting his special teams all season long. Canucks the 4th best power play in the National Hockey League, 13th last year.
Let go!
They're moving up 9 notches on the strength of the improvement of Bertuzzi. Naslund always dangerous. Here's Hlavich out there on the power play. Bertuzzi parks in front. And Naslund to set it up. Looks for Jovanovski. Pass in front. Bertuzzi had it ricochet off him off the outside of the goalpost. Now Hlavich swings it back in for Bertuzzi behind the net. Hlavich goes out in front. Bertuzzi spots Naslund. 1 move, 2 moves. Can't get the shot through. Kept in Jovanovski. He'll tee it up. Fire pad stop. Rebound to Morrison. Upended in front. And Calgary's away 2-on-1. Conroy and right. Here's Craig Conroy. Ian scores. Short-handed. Craig Conroy. 1-0 Calgary.
Well, Mike Vernon at the other end kicks the puck out. Well past the Vancouver Canuck forwards chasing the crease. Here's a look. Now look at all the traffic here as the Canucks go to the net. But then the puck will just bounce right by everybody, and that creates a 2-on-1. And how about Conroy here? He's just going to delay, change the angle. And when he changes the angle, Skudra has to move with him. There. And the minute he moves, Conroy puts it right between his legs. That's a smart goal scorer's goal by Conroy.
Second shorthanded goal of the season for Conroy. And the 10th for the Flames. Sent down the ice again. Less than a half-minute remaining in the power play. And the Flames penalty killing 27th in the league, but doing the job here till a chance by Daniel Sedin. And as you mentioned, this may or may not be Mike Vernon's final NHL game, but he looks intent on making it a good one. Linden back in. His pass broken up by Iginla. 3 shots on the power play. Vernon stopped the ball. Petrovicki steps back on the ice. And now Kravchuk. Hooked at by Daniel Sedin. Petrovicki looks rink wide. There's Nickel. So Nickel okayed. I probably detected a bit of a limp as he went to the bench after his last shift, but Nickel doesn't miss a beat. Sokol to the line. Kravchuk's there. That tip went high off the stick of Petrovicki and into the seats. Greg Conroy, the goal scorer. Calgary with a 1-0 lead.
Have just experienced Team Canada's greatest victory. And now you can own a piece of hockey history on video or DVD with Gold Rush 2002. Gold Rush 2002 is the greatest hockey story ever told. And now you can bring it home in VHS or DVD. It's in limited release, so go for the gold right now.
Talk me in.
First up, surveillance cams. Laser grid next. Now, the tough one. The floor is heat sensitive.
This is too easy.
Oh, one more thing. Attack dogs.
When your body heat rises, New Degree Gel kicks in the clutch.
You're looking at the difference between Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey and a Kentucky bourbon. We call it charcoal mellowing. And we think it gives Jack Daniel's a taste unlike any other whiskey. And after a sip, we think you'll agree. Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey.
Assist for the playmaking Mike Vernon in 18 games this year. And in his last start against Columbus with the lead, he said if he had any chance at an open net late in the game, at this stage of his career, he was going to take it. So who knows? It might be a multi-point night for the goaltender.
He got a point his last game as well when he played.
It's on a roll. 10:57, the time of Conroy's 27th goal of the year. Personal high was 19 for Conroy prior to this breakout offensive season. Here's Matt Cook in. His shot off a skate. Letowski after it. Now Chubarov into the fray. 2-on-2 battle, and Chubarov's going to win it. And now a puck in front off Vernon with Letowski on the doorstep, and he gets run over by Petrovicki. A crunching hit there on Letowski.
That's what the Vancouver Canucks do not want, the way Letowski has played. He is crunched over on the bench at the moment.
Now Bertuzzi takes a look. Swung it out to center, but out of the reach of Naslund. And shots will roll it back in. Flames are changing. 6:40 remaining in the opening period. And a 1-0 lead on the shorthanded goal by Conroy. Here's Bertuzzi loose on the left side. In front to Naslund. He'll turn it back. Spots Sokol. Sokol in deep for Bertuzzi. Back to the point. Morrison covering for Sokol. Morrison holds it in. And now it's dispatched to center by McCammon. Mattias Ohlund takes a long look. He wants Bertuzzi on the right side, but it's broken up. McCammon can't get away. Morris leaves it for McCammon. 21 goals for Dean McCammon. He too enjoying a personal high season offensively. McCammon's centering pass knocked back towards him. Buchner's shot is blocked by Linden. Now Blair Betts mans the puck to Berube. And his wrist shot blocked by Helmer. Berube after it again. He's supported by Betts. Betts, who scored in his first NHL game. Buchner follows up. Greg Gilbert was praised for Betts today, who had a solid year in St. John. They may have overworked him there. He was a 25-minute-a-night player for the St. John Flames. He seems to fit into this system very nicely.
Gilbert thinks he's going to be an NHL player perhaps as early as next year.
Here's Linden loose in Calgary territory. Kravchuk got back. Linden slides the backhand through. Buchner's there. And now Scott Nickel takes over. Lead pass on the tape for Berube. He'll just play it in and go to the bench on a change. Nickel got a piece of a chance. Clark in on the forecheck. He caused the turnover. Nickel sends it across, and it's tipped away from right. Kept in by DuPont. Scott Nickel plays it in behind Skudra. Right, battling with LaChance. And up with a puck comes right. A shot off the logo of Skudra, and he'll hold on. 4:22 to play. First period in Calgary.
My two great-grandfathers, Henry Ford and Harvey Firestone, used to take these camping trips every year with Thomas Edison and whoever the president at the time was. They sort of invented SUVs. If you want to experience the outdoors, there's no better place in Canada, and there's no better way to do it than in one of our SUVs. We do them better than anybody else. When you get it right, you just know it. Then it's really fun.
LGD guys?
Oh, yeah.
Labatt Genuine Draft. You can bring home the great draft taste at a new low price.
My dad's gonna build us the coolest treehouse.
I don't have a clue what I'm doing here.
Well, let's see what you got. Oh, wow, a treehouse.
He can build anything.
Never built anything before.
Relax, I think you're in the right spot.
He wants a trap door.
Balcony, rope swing.
I'm going to suggest 16 penny.
You can do it.
You sure I can do this?
He's a genius.
Trust me. All right.
Dad?
Yeah?
Thanks.
We're back at the Pengrove Saddle Dome. There's a lot of talk in Calgary about this man, 21-year-old Jordan Leopold, a defenseman, the captain of the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers and this year's Hobie Baker Award winner as the top collegiate player in the United States. Still under your decision-making process, Jordan, but how about the prospects of playing with guys like Morris and Lidman and Regier and a pretty strong young defense corps?
Yeah, I got some great players out there, a lot of young guys, but things are going to be going full swing here. They're coming up soon, and I'm just happy to be a part of the organization and play with such a great unit and some great guys on this team.
Do you envision some period of adjustment as you get used to an 82-game schedule as opposed to playing, say, 45 games?
Oh yeah, you gotta accept that. You gotta realize that's gonna happen. And this is a different game than college hockey. There's some Olympic sheets in college hockey, and there's not. And it's a different style of game, a little bit more chippy, a little bit more gritty. And you take out the red line in college hockey, and now you gotta play with it. So there's a few changes to get used to, though.
Yeah, nice hit right in front of us. And you like the jumbotron and the atmosphere here too, don't you?
Yeah, the atmosphere's been great. Fans are what make the game, and really they've done a great job tonight. And it's always nice seeing a jumbotron in the halls too.
Thanks very much for this, Jordan. We look forward to seeing you in the NHL very soon.
Well, thank you.
Guys, not much of a surprise that a kid from Minnesota who plays defense would have Phil Housley as his hero, but Jordan was saying he watched a lot of Housley as a kid and patterned his game after him, the former Flame defenseman, now in Chicago. Here's Bertuzzi over the line. Naslund walks in. Shot didn't get through. He's got it again and tried to tuck it there. Seemed to catch Vernon off guard with that nifty move. Sokol at the point. Down low, Bertuzzi. Morrison in front of the net. Sokol had moved up. And Sokol may get caught. Aginla was in behind him, but couldn't take the pass. Now Bertuzzi shooting. And Vernon sharp again. So pressure by the Canucks as they look for the equalizer. And now Morrison. Morris fires it down on Skudra. 2.5 minutes remaining. A giveaway and Betts, a quick shot. And flashing the leather there was Peter Skudra. Now Linden sidesteps a check and he'll shovel it off Vernon in deep. Halavich there. Jan Halavich trying to bump a slump, being watched by Petrovicki. Halavich without a goal in 13. Flames sent it up ice, and Linden knocked it down. Marie Barron a shot. Big rebound in front. They score! And that's the end of the slump as Halavich gets Vancouver on the board.
the Calgary Flames don't get the puck out of the zone. That creates all the problems for them defensively, and a big rebound by Mike Vernon. And Halavich just following up with a stick on the ice, and the puck arrives right on his stick. And the minute it does, Vernon's still recovering, looking through traffic, and he never gets set for that rebound shot by Halavich. We got a 1-1 hockey game, and just over 2 minutes to go in the first period of play.
So number 16, a long time coming for Halavich, who had 28 a year ago with the New York Rangers.
Halavich is 16 for the season. Season number 23, Murray Berman, and number 16, Trevor Linden.
It's his 9th with the Canucks. Here's Nickel in, a right wing pass behind Clark. Murray Barron, Trevor Linden assist on the goal at 17:59. Nickel, Clark, and Wright in Vancouver territory. Working the boards. Nickel kicks it free. A couple of good plays with the skates in this first period. And Nickel battling on these near boards. Jovanovski ahead. In behind Sedin. Turn back, and the Flames will send it back in and get a change. Jovanovski and Olin. To the red line. Gloved down by Kravchuk. Final minute, first period.
And a good period for both teams. Calgary's played well, and Vancouver has answered in the second half of this period.
Here's Cook firing it, and a great toe stop there by Vernon, and a redirection goes wide off Chubarov. So the Canucks seem to be gaining momentum. Sopel back to get the icing with 37.6 remaining in the first.
And the Vancouver Canucks now with 12 shots on Mike Vernon, who has been very sharp in this first period of play. And there's a look at the goal scorer for the Vancouver Canucks. And Halavich has been a handy player for Vancouver, although he hasn't put up the numbers. He's a good, solid winger, and there is the broken play that ends up right on Halavich's stick. And Mike Vernon is still trying to get set after making a good save on the first scoring opportunity by Vancouver.
Gets a weight off his shoulders prior to the postseason. A face-off in the Calgary zone to Mike Vernon's right. Conroy and Morrison dueling on the draw. Conroy wins it. Out to McCammon. And his pocket pick by Morrison, but a giveaway as Iginla, the pocket center, couldn't hook up with McCammon. Olin beats it up the left side. Naslin to Morrison across for Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi grabbing the jersey of Derek Morris. Time winding down in the period. Conroy in the corner against Morrison. Conroy ties up the Vancouver center, and the horn goes before Sopel can let go a final shot. And the shot's in the first, 12-9 in favor of the Canucks.
A very good period for Mike Vernon, and some nice tempo to that first period of play.
Greg Conroy, a short-handed goal, opened the scoring. And then Jan Halavich with his 16th replies. And after 20 minutes, it's 1-1 in Calgary.
How is NMAX making life better for Albertans? We're providing safe and reliable power around the province, building a high-speed fiber optic network, and expanding our commitment to wind-generated power so we can all breathe a little easier.
Men's World Curling Championship Finals live on CBC Sports starting tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern on CBC.
1-1 after one at the Pengrove Saddledome. Craig Conroy's got the goal, shorthanded for the Calgary Flames. The mark of a good team, I suppose, is it plays till the bitter end, and your team has done that over the last two.
Well, we don't want to, you never want to give up, and these games are important to other teams, and other teams in the league are watching, hoping we can maybe help them out. We knocked off Edmonton last night. Tonight, it's all pride now.
75-point season so far for you, by far a breakout season. People are talking about the Selke Trophy and everything else, but what do you credit the success to personally?
Jerome McGinley hasn't heard it, but just giving a confidence in Calgary to do more offensively, and getting to play with Jerome is great, and Dean McCammon. It's been a dream season for me.
Wonderful season, Craig, and good luck to you the rest of the way and with everything else.
Thanks, Scott. I appreciate it.
Craig Conroy of the Calgary Flames has the goal in a 1-1 tie. Coming up next, the road to the Stanley Cup. 10 things you should know about Stanley's stats when we return. It's 1-1. Craig Conroy shorthanded. Jan Halavich for the Vancouver Canucks as we continue on Hockey Night in Canada.
Toss away any beverage container. You toss away the chance to recycle it into something useful. A jacket, napkins for your picnic, or even the table you have your picnic on.
Don't toss away the chance. Do what you can do.
Save a piece of Alberta's environment and get some money back too. Return your empty containers to the Bottle Depot and help to save all kinds of things. Toss it or take it back. Hardly a toss-up.
In a hurry to try the 20th anniversary ET meal? It's only at Swiss Chalet. Come in now and you'll get a juicy quarter chicken dinner and our delicious ET fudge brownie for dessert. For a limited time, just $7.99. Kids meal collectibles too. The taste is like out of this world.
That should taste as good as Swiss Chalet.
Road to the Stanley Cup. Brought to you by Labatt Blue. A whole lot can happen out of the blue.
Welcome back. It's time for Stanley Stats. 10 things you should know before we head down the road to the Stanley Cup. As Harry Neal always says, it's the most difficult trophy to win in professional sport. The victorious team will need blood, sweat, tears, and most importantly, 16 wins in order to savor Stanley. Here we go. Number 10, most goals by a rookie in one playoff year. That would be 14 by Dino Ciccarelli of the 81 North Stars. He took 19 games to do it. 9, most points by a defenseman in one playoff season. That would be Paul Coffey of the 85 Oilers. He had 37 in 18 games. Number 8, most overtime goals in a playoff career. The Rocket, Maurice Richard, had 6.
And you got to remember, in those days they played 2 rounds. And he still has the record, I believe, is 6. To me, that's a remarkable record. That's how good he was.
Not a bad endorsement. Number 7, most playoff goals in 1 year. Reggie Leach of the 1976 Philadelphia Flyers, Yari Curry of the 85 Edmonton Oilers. The number is 19. Number 6, most playoff goals in a career, 122. It belongs to Wayne Gretzky, and no one active is even close. Number 5, most playoff games by a goaltender. Patrick Roy at 219 and counting. He also has 4 Stanley Cups to his credit. 4, most Stanley Cup rings worn by a goalie. That's shared. Jacques Plante and Ken Dryden both have 6, courtesy of their association with the Canadiens. Number 3, the player with his name on the Stanley Cup the most times. That's easy. Henri the Pocket Rocket Richard. An incredible 11 Stanley Cup victories, all with Montreal. He never went more than 4 years without it. Number 2, longest drought by a team. The Chicago Blackhawks. They last won the Cup in 1961. That's 41 years ago. Then Bobby Hull, the Golden Jet, was a superstar. And the top Stanley Cup stat, which team has embraced the Cup the most times? That would be the Montreal Canadiens. 23 in all. Their first was in 1924. Their most recent, 1993. The Habs have won at least 1 Cup in 8 straight decades. Above all, it is a team game, and when it all begins on Wednesday, the slate is clean. On paper, at least 16 clubs will have an equal chance of winning when they head out on the road to the Stanley Cup.
Road to the Stanley Cup. Brought to you by Labatt Blue. A whole lot can happen out of the blue.
We should have meetings like this more often. No kidding.
The built Ford Tough line of trucks. Ranger F-150 and Super Duty. Lease the F-150 XTR starting at $399 a month.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
How was your meeting?
Make any meeting a memorable one. Only at your Alberta Ford dealers. It's always been Ford.
Yes, on you. I'd love for your piece to be on me.
She wanted his story.
Are you stalking me? Because that would be super.
He wanted her.
Doesn't she have a boyfriend? Details.
Now, he's getting wild.
Babe, that fine? She's not for you, dude.
Au contraire. Mon frère. And she's getting wilder.
I score.
Dinner for two. Clothing optional. Holy crap.
My brothers play hockey for the Rangers.
Ryan Reynolds, Tara Reid, National Lampoon's Van Wilder.
Now playing in theaters everywhere. Back in Wild Rose Country, Calgary, Alberta, got up to 19 degrees above Celsius today in the Stampede City. 1-1 after one period of play. The Canucks and the Calgary Flames. Here's Kelly Rudy.
How was Vermilion?
Vermilion was great.
What did you do there?
I went there for Becky Scott Day.
Was it great?
Yeah, Becky Scott, of course, won the bronze medal in cross-country skiing at the Olympic Games. Wonderful Canadiana. 3,500 people out at a town rally. They had a parade for Becky there, and she's certainly a great role model for the community and a representative of her sport.
It was great. I thought it was great that you were there, and it's nice that you were invited.
It was an honor to be there, and I flew back just to get here in time to be with you, my friend.
And talk about Craig Conroy. Why don't we?
Talk about great wheels, Becky Scott and Craig Conroy.
Right. You know what, Scott? A lot of guys have great wheels, but they don't use them. We're going to see an example of Conroy right here. And what he's going to do, he's going to get a pass from McCammon, and we're going to see him bust right up the middle and use that great speed, and then he's going to force the Canucks into making a decision. So Naslin's going over to him right now. We're going to see Naslin has to make a decision. Does he go at Conroy, or does he go over here and cover Iginla? It's going to be back to Iginla, and then right back into the middle with Conroy, using that speed, and that's why he gets that great scoring chance. And it's always frustrating, Scott, when you see guys like that with that ability and with that speed and they don't use it, and Conroy never has to be reminded that's one of his strengths of his game.
Fantastic season for Craig Conroy of the Calgary Flames, 75 points, a candidate for sure, maybe a finalist, maybe the winner of the Selke Trophy as the best defensive forward. And I love it when he gives credit to Jerome Iginla for the wonderful season.
Like, that's pretty tough?
Yeah, I mean, Iginla's only had a great season, but
has.
What's the difference this year and last? He goes to the net, doesn't he?
I'm going to show you a great example of what he's been doing a lot better this season. Here's Iginla, and we'll get a pass right up the middle, and what he's going to do, he's going to attack the Canucks zone right like this. But what he's doing this year more so than in last year anyways, last year what he'd do when he's getting checked like this by Matt Cook, he'd peel off to the side and try and make a play. But this year, and he's doing it consistently, he's driving to the net, and that's going to free up a chance for Berube. He's going to make that one-handed back pass right there. But if he doesn't drive to the net, Scott, there's no scoring chance because everybody else is covered. Now, that's a hard play. He's a big, strong man. That's hard on Matt Cook trying to cover him. And so there's a real difference there. And Wayne Gretzky was great at peeling off because he had to. He didn't have the size of Iginla, but Iginla's a big, strong guy. If you go to the net, boy, it's hard.
Yeah, and great examples of it last night when they played Edmonton and Calgary came up with a victory.
And that's how he scored the second goal.
Yeah.
He had it, and he just drove. And I know it was an empty net goal, but it doesn't matter. He still had a guy all over him. He was going right there. Okay, this is our third place, Scott Lachance.
Yeah.
Thanks. So we're going to see Lachance right here, and the puck is going to be shot back into the Canucks zone, and he's going to make a bad giveaway. But I'm going to defend him here. It's not really his fault. If we take a look at the Canucks coming back into their zone, we can see we still have two Canucks outside the zone. And who in the world can he pass to? Maybe rim it around, but that's probably not that good a play. Now, he is getting forecheck, and he does try to beat the first guy, and that's a mistake. But you have to give him a little bit of an out there, and that, what's he going to do? I didn't see anybody to pass to, and you can't make a big, long pass because Mark Crawford, your coach, might get mad.
Boy, they score a ton of goals, but do you like heading into the playoffs the Canuck defense?
Oh, I do. And you know why? And we talked about it last week in L.A., LA, they back in. Vancouver, they back in a lot now. Very rarely do they have the aggressive forecheck. All teams are doing it, and I mentioned it last week. I'm going to say it again. It could be a problem in the game. If this continues for 2, 3, 4 more years, it could be a problem because there's no forecheck anymore. It's just like we saw in the Olympics.
Great. They love you in Vermilion, by the way. Everybody does. After Hours coming up. They like this, too. Who should be the NHL Coach of the Year this season? This is our poll question. Should it be Scotty Bowman of Detroit? Always a good choice. Bobby Francis done a great job with the Coyotes. Robbie Ftorek in Boston, they're first. Brian Sutter in Chicago. Michel Therrien, what a job he's done without Saku Koivu most of the year in Montreal. And a late candidate, Mark Crawford, as the Canucks get into the playoffs and have a great year. Here's how to reach us, www.cbc.ca/sports/hockey. Follow the links to the After Hours page. Our email address, afterhours@cbc.ca, or phone us, 1-866-226-HNIC. That's a toll-free call. HNIC, by the way, that's 4642 if you have a touch-tone phone. Our guests tonight, Jerome Aginla and Mike Vernon of the Calgary Flames. 1-1 after one period of play as Hockey Night in Canada continues coast to coast.
Subway has a new bread made with Daphne Guy's honey and his oats. Oh, whoa. Hey, Subway's this way!
Subway's new Honey Oat on Wheat starts with tasty wheat bread. Then we coat it with honey and oats and bake it all together. Subway, eat fresh!
Her visions revealed a great warrior who would defy an empire and become a legend. The Scorpion King. In theaters April 19th. Advance tickets on sale now.
They were cousins. They could never marry.
A Clarica agent can make sense of almost anything, especially your investments and insurance. Clarica.
At Home Depot, we're striking another blow to lower home improvement costs. Now through April, we'll deduct the cost of sales tax from the purchase and installation price of select merchandise. Great brand names like Thomasville, Primdor, Mills Pride, Levalor, and more. It's our way of making sales tax a little less taxing. And it's just one more way we've got lower prices nailed.
CBC News.
Good evening, I'm Suhanna Marchand. U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell will meet Yasser Arafat after all. Today, the Palestinian leader released a statement condemning terrorist acts against all civilians. And while that may have put the talks back on track, it didn't stop Israeli tanks in theirs. Terry Malewski has the latest, and a word of caution. Some of the video is disturbing.
The Israeli offensive in the West Bank is now in its third week, and there's no sign that it's ending. In Bethlehem, there was an explosion, gunfire, and no progress towards a negotiated surrender of the Palestinian gunmen inside the Church of the Nativity. Further north, in Jenin, where the worst fighting took place, there are scenes of devastation. Inside burnt-out homes, bodies lie where they fell. There's still no reliable estimate of how many died here. 100, 300, no one knows for sure. The Palestinians call it a massacre. The Israelis call it a battle against armed terrorists.
There are humanitarian...
Meanwhile, the U.S. Secretary of State, Colin Powell, said he will go ahead and meet Yasser Arafat tomorrow. Powell had postponed the meeting until Arafat made a statement condemning yesterday's suicide bombing in Jerusalem. Arafat's statement pointedly condemned what it called, quote, all terrorism, whether it is state terrorism, terrorism by a group, or individual terrorism, unquote. But for Israelis who came to see the site of the bombing, this attack had Arafat's signature on it. The Israeli government regards tomorrow's meeting between Colin Powell and Yasser Arafat as a mistake, but the U.S. regards it as essential, on the grounds that Arafat remains the leader of the Palestinian people and that he must be part of any future settlement, however remote that now seems to be. Terry Malewski, CBC News, Jerusalem.
In Venezuela, there are signs that yesterday's coup is unraveling. Tonight, the interim president said he's resigning. Confusion surrounds just who's in control of the country. Thousands of Venezuelans took to the streets today demanding Hugo Chavez be returned to power. He hasn't been seen since the military took him from the presidential palace early yesterday. A strike is looming at Bombardier Aerospace. 7,400 workers voted today to walk off the job first thing Monday morning. The strike would affect 3 plants in the Montreal area. The dispute is over wages and early retirement. Finally, this was Becky Scott Day in her hometown of Vermilion, Alberta. Hundreds of people turned out for a parade in honor of Canada's first ever Olympic medalist in cross-country skiing. Scott won a bronze in Salt Lake City, but Vermilion residents say she won gold in their hearts. The two athletes who finished ahead of Scott were later caught using drugs, but so far have not been disqualified. And that's a brief look at the news. I'm Suhanna Marchand. Now back to hockey.
You know, this room could use some new paint.
Yeah, I can do that.
How about rust? No, a pure red with a faux finish. Ooh, and that dry brush technique. Maybe a honey undertone.
How do I do that?
It's easy. Let's start over here.
You know, she said something about dry brush.
It's dragging. And actually, there's a seminar tomorrow. Why don't you come out?
And you're going to drag, and you're going to weave. You've got it now. That's great.
It's beautiful.
It was easy.
New bread made with that bee guy's honey and his oats. Hey, Subway's this way!
Subway's new Honey Oat on Wheat starts with tasty wheat bread. Then we coat it with honey and oats and bake it all together.
Subway, eat fresh. Wishing and hoping and thinking and praying, planning and dreaming.
Get comfortable with a great mortgage from TD Canada Trust. It could mean the difference between 2 bedrooms and 4. Banking can be this comfortable. TD Canada Trust.
Hey, remember me?
Yeah, of course I do.
CC&G, ice cold right from the bottle. It's good to be a guy.
Portion of Hockey Night in Canada is brought to you by Ford of Canada, Canada's #1 choice, and by Home Depot, striking a blow for lower home improvement costs.
Ready for the second period in this regular season finale at the Penrose Saddledome. A 1-1 tie. Vancouver still with an opportunity to move up the standings in the Western Conference. They need help. They need a win here. Here's a Gidley drop out of the reach of Conroy. McCammon lost it at the line. Now Morrison stripped to the puck. Bertuzzi gets it back. Here's Big Bertuzzi in, takes a look, gives it to Morrison and fired it high over the net. Now Naslund picks up the loose puck. Can't get it back to Bertuzzi. The Flames unable to hook up with a Ginla. Like the first period. The top lines, top 2 scoring lines in the league going head-to-head for the most part.
In the league? Pretty good.
35 points. Well, you've got the number 2 and 3 scorers on one line, and you've got the NHL's leading scorers. It will be the first Calgary Flame ever to win the Art Ross on that other line.
Yeah, might be right again. Maybe. Check that one out.
Well, I want you to find a higher scoring line than the one that has Bertuzzi and Naslund on.
No argument for me on that.
Nice battles along the boards. Nickel. He's pinned by Chuparov. I know you're just getting your playoff game face on.
I'll just stir it up a little bit.
Here's Murray Barron. On the tape, Latowski shook off the effects of that heavy hit in the last period, and Cook shot high off the glass and into the seats. And it's always our pleasure to be in the Ed Whalen broadcast booth here in Calgary. And we wondered about how the Canucks would come out tonight after clinching a playoff spot last night. I mean, for 3 months it has been do or die almost every night.
Well, they're a loose group of hockey players this morning and a very happy group as well, as they should be. But certainly, do you think they really want to play the Detroit Red Wings in the first round? I'm not so sure they do. As we look at our first period summary, Conroy with his 27th. Halavich, after a long scoring drought, gets his 16th of the season to make it 1-1.
Here's Jeff Shantz working over the line with Niedermeyer. Rolled it deep. Scott LaChance Chips it ahead, and here's a 2-on-1. Henrik Sedin has Bertuzzi, and it's neatly broken up by Tony Lidman. And back the other way comes Schatz. Schatz over the line with 3 flames. Niedermeyer, quick shot, and Skudra covers that.
Well, Todd Bertuzzi is placed at times, and he double shifts with the Sedin line, and it's been very successful at work against the Los Angeles Kings as Bertuzzi got a goal that way. And here's the 2-on-1 as the Canucks break out. How about Lidman with a good play, using his stick, getting it into the play here, and that created an excellent opportunity the other way for the Calgary Flames. But that's a nice defensive play by Tony Lidman. Bertuzzi was streaming down the wing, wide open. 247 and a power winger. You remember a player, Chris, you were mentioning this morning, that has that much mobility, that much skill level, and he's that heavy and that strong.
It is a short group of players over 240 that have played in the NHL, but it's funny, I brought that up this morning. Mike Johnson and Mark Crawford had been going through the list themselves earlier in the week because it is such a rare commodity, that overpowering size, and yet all the skill and moves of a much smaller playmaking player. And a shot on Vernon, who covers up. Now Todd Bertuzzi, 3rd in the league in scoring, and like Jerome McGinley, a 15-game point streak during the year, and trying to add to those totals tonight.
And what I love about him, of course, is the way he protects the puck. And we'll give you a couple of examples here of how he can own the boards, protect the puck with one hand. He's so strong. How do you stop him? And then believe me, when he wants to go to the net, he's pretty tough to stop as well. There's a nice setup there on Castles that almost worked. And Todd Bertuzzi, we've talked about it a lot. 3rd now in the National Hockey League in scoring. And he has been so hot in the second half of the year. Last 15 games, 14 goals, 14 assists, 28 points.
And those last 15 games, really the final surge that got the Canucks into the playoffs. 12-2-1 in those 15, and that started with a 6-game road trip. We saw them in San Jose a few weeks ago. They lost there, lost again, and looked like they were in trouble.
The entire world will connect to the web. Wow.
You do too much. You're not Superman, you know.
In theaters May 3rd.
Early stages, second period. Letowski rolled a shot wide, a 1-1 tie. Canucks have outshot the Flames 15-10. Chubarov hands it off. Cook looks to return the pass. Doesn't get through. Chubarov centers. Cook! And a big stop by Vernon there. They continue the battle. Letowski on the right wing. Lays it back in front of the net. And the Flames now on their heels. LeChance kept it in and finally played out to center. Mike Vernon continues to look sharp in this, his 49th appearance against the Vancouver Canucks. Cook sends it across. Vernon 28, 14, and 6 in his career against Vancouver. And all the Canuck fans remember that series in '89 when Mike Vernon shut the door and sent the Flames onto the Stanley Cup. Here's Bertuzzi battling and losing the puck. Scott Nichols starts back. On the left side it goes right. Fired it well off target. Buchner will step up, but he's got to retreat now. Bertuzzi and Morrison go to the attack. Helmer jumps up. Scores! Brian Helmer with the blast, and it's 2-1 Vancouver.
Well, another turnover by Calgary creates all kinds of speed for Vancouver through the neutral zone. And Helmer, who has played very well, jumps in from the point. Stop it here, guys. There's Helmer. Let's see how he gets in. Play goes off the boards. Buchner gets caught in no man's land, and here comes Helmer. He's just coming late, right in the middle of your screen. Waits, and he gets all of this shot, and he just piles it right through Mike Vernon's legs. And Helmer can shoot it. That's his fifth.
Bertuzzi draws an assist, as does Morrison. 4:32, the time of the go-ahead goal for Vancouver. Todd Bertuzzi with his 48th assist of the year, 84th point, and he is a 16-point streak. Now McCammon looks to center, was looking for Iginla. Here's Jerome Iginla, watched by Henrik Sedin. Back up top. Shot went high, and Soko brings it down. Up to Henrik Sedin, who has played so well in recent weeks for Vancouver. Now Kravchuk. Big crowd here at the Penrose Saddledome tonight, and they're trying to pick up the Flames after the go-ahead goal by Vancouver. Kravchuk, Niedermeyer to the line. Left wing feed. Chris Clark, his pocket pick. And back comes Ruutu with Hlavich. The drop pass, Ruutu on the attack. Short side shot is covered. Hlavich, who got the first Canuck goal, tries to center. Broken up by Derek Morris. And he'll start the Flames back. Niedermeyer slowed up at the line. Stays on the puck. Now Morris tried to roll it through. And Jovanovski broke that up. He springs Ruutu. Loose is Hlavich on the right side. And Matador, with help from Petrovicki, made the play defensively. Puck swings into the Vancouver bench. And we have a stoppage. 2-1 Vancouver here in the second.
This is a bed. This is a box seat at the game. This is the best seat at your favorite restaurant. And occasionally, it's the bank to tip the pizza guy.
They were cousins. They could never marry.
A Clarica agent can make sense of almost anything, especially your investments and insurance. Clarica.
On all new releases at Rogers Video.
Well, you have to admire the job that Mark Crawford has done this year. We talked about it earlier in the show. He loves to play four lines and roll over the lines. He's been able now to get the personnel here at Vancouver to do it. He's created a lot of energy for his hockey team by doing just that, keeping his players fresh, and at times, and at key times, throwing in a Petruzzi or another player like Naslin or Castles to elevate the play a little bit. Look out here.
Dangerous play by Skudra, picked up by McCammon. Conroy and Morris get tangled up. Here's Iginla battling against Olin in behind the net. Here's Conroy with it, a shot. Skudra gets a piece of that. Here's Bertuzzi. Iginla on him. Marcus Naslin over the line. Where is it? Naslin trying to regain possession. Morrison has it. Swings it to Bertuzzi. In behind the net. And quickly Morris was on him. And it's flipped high and back down into the Vancouver zone. Both teams changing as the icing call is made. We join Scott Russell.
Thanks very much, Chris. Here's Ken King, the president and CEO of the Calgary Flames. Here's the good news, Ken. Biggest crowd since '95. Here's the ominous news. You've got to fight to retain fan loyalty after missing the playoffs for the 6th year in a row. What do you make of the challenge?
you know what, it's big, but a night like this proves it can be done. For a dozen years, this building was full. It's going to be full again next year. We can do it. The fans want somebody to love. We need to get it done on the ice, and we'll get it done in the seats.
And I suppose you have to get it done in the boardroom. I got to ask you point blank, is the organization committed to signing and getting Jerome McGinley back in a Calgary uniform for a lot of years to come?
Of course we are. Jerome's going to play here. Jerome's not going anywhere. We're going to match any U.S. offers. We're going to keep him here.
Great news. Good luck to you, Ken.
Thanks.
Guys.
Well, the fans certainly have somebody to love this year in Jerome McGinley. Amazing season, and it will be capped by plenty of hardware at the end of this year. First claim to win the Art Ross and the Rocket Richard, and it'll be a Hart Trophy season as well. Here's Niedermayer back in, shots. Didn't miss by much, and the puck knocked over the stick of Littman and out to center. Now pushed ahead, Niedermayer trying to get loose. Jovanovski sent it behind the net. Flames are there. Niedermayer knocked out. Clark crashing in there on the forecheck. Plays it back to the line. Kravchuk shot. Skudra down. On top of him's Niedermayer. Penalty coming up. And who's it going to be? It's going to be Niedermayer. Goaltender interference.
Everywhere May 3rd.
Well, Niedermayer gets the penalty as he runs into Skudra here, coming from behind. Now, even though Skrudra's out of the blue paint, it doesn't matter if you just run the goalie over, and that's interference, and that's why he's in the penalty box. Here are the numbers for the red-hot Vancouver power play. A blade in front and just tipped wide of the net. Vernon lost his stick as he got tangled up with Naslund. So Mike Vernon doesn't have a stick. And the Canucks set it up. And a pass blocked by Nickel. That allows Buchner to go and retrieve the Vernon goal stick. Back in comes the Vancouver power play. Bertuzzi. Canucks were 26 on the power play in the NHL on New Year's Day. Jovanovski, Morrison, backhands it across. They are now fourth in the NHL. All kinds of weapons. Naslund working it around. Bertuzzi in front. Couldn't get loose, and it's dispatched down the ice by Nickel. And into the Calgary bench to get a whistle. Well, the whole key to the power play for Vancouver is, first of all, Naslund on the half boards, big Todd Bertuzzi in front, and the rocket from the point and Ed Jovanovski. And then you get Morrison into the mix as well. Let's stop it here for a minute, guys. There is where Naslund always sets up. There's the point shot, and there's the man in front, Bertuzzi. And those are the three keys to their power play and three pretty good options. And it works so well, but the passer and the quarterback is not the point man for Vancouver, but it's Naslund on the half boards. And he uses either the low option, and if that doesn't work, he's got the point shot available with Jovanovski. First minute of the power play done. Sopel at the line. Daniel Sedin shot. It's blocked by Montador. Broke Montador's stick. So now a defenseman without a stick as Vernon makes the save on that hot shot and will hold on. And now the second power play unit comes out and does a pretty good job also. That's what you need to have a successful power play in this league. You need to have two strong power play units, and the Vancouver can throw several looks at you. Here's a knuckleballer, and Vernon is able to snag out of the air. So another one of those players, Chris, that has really improved this year from the start of the year till now. His game just became better and better and better as the year progressed. His first shot was the one that snapped the stick of Montador like a twig. His last goal was in the last meeting of these two teams back on February the 9th. This is the fifth meeting between Vancouver and Calgary. Canucks won the first three, and then
Calgary won the last meeting to snap a 9-game unbeaten streak by Vancouver. And they come in here tonight unbeaten in their last 8. Face-off one, Sopel shoots, Vernon the stop, loose in front, and Henrik shot hit a skate and lands in the corner. Sopel at the line, Henrik again. Happened to go power play, Vernon again, sprawls. Is the puck still loose? Might be under Derek Morris, and he tosses it away. And are we going to get another penalty?
Yep. Bill McCreary called this play a couple of weeks ago. And was it Edmonton? Yes.
It was. On Yanni Niederma.
For holding the puck. Chris, I know you've talked to him about it. And there's zero tolerance as far as he is concerned when somebody grabs the puck and throws it away. And let's have a look. Morris has the puck underneath him. There is no whistle. McCreary is looking for it, and there he picks it up and throws it away. And that's 2 minutes in the rule book. Morris is in the penalty box. You don't see it called very often. Some refs will let it go. Bill McCreary has told us it's not going to be him that lets it go ever.
Stems from a playoff game last year where a puck was thrown into the seats in a key game and no call was made, and at that point Andy Van Helleman made it clear that he wanted to see that call, and so the officials are more diligent in making the call this season no matter what the situation, and in this case it gives Vancouver a 2-man advantage.
A whole 25 seconds too.
Linden wins the face-off, but it bounced over the stick of Jovanovski to center. Naslund manning the other point on this 5-on-3. Greg Conroy. It was the first face-off loss for Conroy, and it still turned out to be beneficial. Now Conroy swats it down the ice. One of the best penalty killers in the NHL. He has a short-handed goal, and he kills the 5-on-3. Now it's a 1-man advantage. Jovanovski walks in. Didn't get a lot on that. Seemed to be an off-balance shot from a pretty good shooting position. And now Niedermayer off to the races. 2-on-1 with Nickel. Niedermayer in. Nickel. Oh, what a stop! Great save by Skudra to keep it a 1-goal lead for Vancouver. Calgary that close to their second short-handed goal of the game.
You will not see a better save than that one.
Conroy shot on his 2-on-1. Skudra played the pass there beautifully.
Skudra cheated a little bit on the pass, went over, as you mentioned, Chris, and got his right pad on that perfect 2-on-1 attempt by Calgary.
Here's Halavich, nice move at the line. Henrik Sedin looks for Daniel. Here's Oland and Vernon. Out past the blue ice to Rob Matthias Oland. Half-minute left in the power play. This will be a big boost for the Flames. Emotionally, if they can kill it. Puck centered through the skates of Sopel. Back at the line, Brent Sopel gives it to Daniel Sedin. Monador hacking at him. Kravchuk tries to steal. Daniel gets it back. Knocked away, and Conroy sends it into the benches with 7 seconds left in the penalty to Morris.
Well, both goalies putting on quite a show here in the second period of play. Olin with an excellent chance for Vancouver moments ago. And Mike Vernon came well out of the blue paint, read he was going to shoot, and made a fine save.
You could be one of our lucky winners tonight of these great prizes from Safety Square and Warner Brothers Lake Louise.
And here it is. The Canucks again, good work getting into the zone, and Olin will sneak in from the point. All 4 Calgary Flames chase the puck, and that leaves Olin wide open. And then at the other end on a 2-on-1, Niedermayer, a left-handed shot. That means that the goaltender Skruda does not have to go as far over to get Nickel because he's a left-handed shot, and that's why he's able to only move halfway. And pretty good reason why he was able to get his right pad on the puck.
Morris penalty done, but Latowski's got a chance. Can't tuck it in short side. There's Morris back on the ice. And he'll send it down into the Vancouver zone. 8:08 left in the second. It's 2-1 Canucks.
Because Niedermayer was a left-handed shot, obviously, that meant that Skruda could play the puck a little closer to the center of the crease. And
He didn't have to go over as far on Nick. 5 shots on the power play for the Canucks, and that great scoring chance for Calgary. Short-handed. Here's a puck in front. McCammon, another brilliant save as Skudra robs McCammon in front. Those are 2 back-to-back beauties by Peter Skudra. Another bouncing puck, handcuffed Jovanovski. Now Iginla off the boards to Niedermeyer. Chubarov on Niedermeyer, who stays with the puck. Back to the point. Kravchuk shot. It ends up wide of the net. Chubarov around the boards. Kept in by Buchner. Jovanovski had his stick lifted. A chance. Up the boards. Tangled up is Strudwick. With Kravchuk, who kept it in. Now the Canucks will break out. LeChance solo mission as Vancouver on a change. Linden comes over the boards with Palavich. Up ahead, Shots. Here's Jeff Shots. To the net, Skudra had trouble with that. Petrovicky. Shots on the board check. It's sent around for Palavich. And he'll head up ice. Over to Linden. And Strudwick can't get it deep. Linden's got to hold up. And his mates come back on side. Aaron one-times the pass. Palavich misplayed it. And now gets it in. Ryan Helmer's 5th of the year here in the second period. Has provided Vancouver with this 2-1 lead. Jamie Wright starts back. Works against Helmer, who squeezes him off the puck. And they duel and fence along the boards as Naslund sends it away. Puck ahead past Nickel, who would have been offside on the 2 line. It's an icing call. And Peter Skudra has made a couple of sensational saves here in the second.
It's time to begin the Fan Appreciation Night. Prize draws brought to you by...
It's because you have so many reasons to arrive that we have been inspired to create so many ways of getting you there. General Motors, getting more people to where they need to be than any company in the world.
You're lucky, you know. I didn't get a car when I turned 16 years old. No, ma'am. I took for the old guy. Easy.
Yep, the DQ Blizzard Treat is celebrating its birthday with outrageous new flavors. Dip into Mocha Chip. When the flavor of mocha blends with chocolate pieces, it'll chill your lips.
Okay, that's it. I've had it.
Try Mocha Chip, only at DQ.
Did you know you can file an adjustment on last year's tax return? These people did and got more money back. Come in for the H&R Block Double Check Challenge. We'll re-examine your 2000 return free. We may even find you more money.
She used her power to rule an empire. Now, one man has been sent to free her. Come for the woman and your head. The Scorpion King. In theaters April 19th. Advance tickets on sale now.
Closed captioning of this program has been brought to you by the all-new Chevy Avalanche. It's the ultimate utility vehicle.
5:41 remaining in the second period. 2-1 Vancouver. From the face-off, Sopel a shot. Bertuzzi getting a shift with the Sedins. Here's Daniel cycling it to his brother, in turn to Bertuzzi in the corner. He comes off the boards with the puck, but that play broken up. McCammon trying to speed away. He got tugged by Olin, who will get a penalty. And Olin blocked the shot, which results in the whistle, and he'll head straight to the box. So when we return, Calgary goes to the power play.
Travel for work, $16,000 a month. Gloves for work, $12 a pair. Miscellaneous work expenses, $320 a year. Having a job that never, ever feels like work, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard, official card of the NHL and lifelong fan of Phil Pritchard, keeper of Lord Stanley's Cup.
What is a red tag day, you say? It's a day you say goodbye old car and hello brand new Toyota. You've been waiting long enough. Roll film. Oh, look, there's your dream machine. Technology, style, and power. You know you love them. Right there's a 2003 model. Let's get you to Access Toyota Red Tag Days right now, and you can get a brand new Toyota. And I'll take care of the old car for you. Don't worry, I'm a very safe driver now.
Olin in the penalty box, but it really wasn't his fault as Todd Bertuzzi puts him in an awful position here with this pass. And now all Olin can do is tug on to McCammon, and he tugs on a little bit too much for Bill McCreary's liking, and that's why T.S. Olin is in the penalty box.
If you don't hook up McCammon, he's away with that blazing speed. So the numbers for Calgary on the power play as they look for the equalizer with 5:05 remaining in the second period. Niedermeyer with Conroy and Iginla, Kravchuk, and Morris. There's Conroy back to Iginla, 4 points shy of a century mark. Lost the puck and Linden rolls it down.
Talking with Greg Gilbert this morning, the one area that he really felt hurt the hockey team this year in Calgary was their special teams. Both their power play and their penalty killing were subpar at best.
Here's Morris at the line. Across Kravchuk. Now Iginla. Up high, Latowski watching him. In front, Conroy gets worked over by Murray Barron as the shot is deflected high into the seats in this big throng at the Saddledome tonight.
You know, the funny thing that with this Calgary Flame team is when they were on a roll early in the year, the power play was going so well. And then Greg Gilbert lost Derek Morris. And the minute they lost Morris, the power play tailed off. And when they got him back, it never really got going again. And Morris, of course, with that hand injury that kept them out just before Christmas and throughout that time frame. Greg Gilbert, a demanding coach that asks a lot from his players. Work ethic is his main demand, and one thing about the Calgary Flames, you can't say that they didn't work all season long. They were a hard-working team. They just didn't have enough most nights in terms of their skill level.
5 more wins than last year, and at this point, 6 points more than last season. But a little more was expected after that amazing 13-2-2-2 start. Well, some of the playoff picture has become clearer tonight. In the East, the Leafs with 100 points. Their win tonight, they finished 4th. Don't know who they'll play yet. We do know it will be Ottawa and Philadelphia, and Montreal will play Boston. Traditional old playoff rival.
It's kind of funny, you know, the Ottawa Senators and all their fans all season long seemed to think it was going to be the Toronto Maple Leafs the way things were lining up, but now suddenly they get to play the Philadelphia Flyers. And by the way, Ottawa has had some good success in Philadelphia over the years.
The Flyers going into the postseason in anything but impressive shape, although they did win today. Under a half minute remaining in this Calgary power play. As you saw, they've clicked in 9 straight games. Dean McCammon. Scott Nickel behind the net. Now Clark beats it back out to DuPont. AHL All-Star and a prolific offensive defenseman in junior hockey with the Kamloops Blazers. DuPont send it ahead, but play's been stopped, and Nick Jovanovski's down after a slash. And this is something you really don't want to see. And a forearm injury to Jovanovski, and the Canucks looking for some retribution.
And you can see the red mark on Jovanovski's wrist. Or forearm, really. And wouldn't this be something? If Jovanovski was hurt. Now let's have a look. Here's the play by Clark. Oh, right above the glove. And Jovanovski just trying to pass the puck out of the zone, and those are the kind of slashes that the league has been trying to crack down on for quite some time. And this year they've done a better job with their no tolerance play on those slashes. They've called it every time, the officials, and Clark will get 2 minutes for slashing. Let's have one more look. Jovanovski used those low cuff gloves, and you can see the area that was wide open between the gloves and Jovanovski's elbow pad. No smart. Seems to be okay.
Yeah, that's the good news.
Get the feeling back in his fingers. There's the ice bag going on. That'll help.
New proud Papa Mike Bernstein attending to Ed Jovanovski.
And Olin and Barron in the penalty box. Olin from before, of course, and Barron immediately went over to Clark. So he will get a penalty for Vancouver also. And the officials now sorting out the calls.
Just 3 seconds left in Olin's minor.
This will be 4-on-4, I'm pretty sure, as there'll be a couple of minors handed out, one to Clark and one to Barron. Once, of course, Olin gets out of the penalty box. And here comes Barron coming in on Clark here. Ooh, there's a bit of a spear. And that's why he is in the box.
So those penalties will negate each other. Greg Gilbert getting an explanation.
Looking for a spear.
And it is 4-on-4. And the Canucks have been lethal in this situation this year.
Have they ever? 14-4, they've outscored their opponents. 4-on-4, Chris.
And they have Bertuzzi and Naslund out to do some damage, but they'll have to be wary of Conroy. Actually, they'll play 5-on-5. Olin ready to return.
2 for roughing. Time of the penalty 16-40. Barron 2 for slashing. Clark 2 for roughing. Time of the penalty 16-40.
So now Olin back on the ice. There's Helmer up ahead, and Bertuzzi looks across ice. Naslund sprawled, couldn't control it, and Conroy will counter. There's the Gimlet at the line, and they got slowed up and put the play offside.
Big Conroy, another one of the Flames that has had an excellent year. We've mentioned it, Chris, a couple of times, and you have to think about Selke Trophy when you think about Craig Conroy. He's done it offensively, which isn't what the trophy's all about, but defensively as well. On the line with Iginla. He's won many of the face-offs. He's a terrific penalty killer, and I think a candidate for the Selke Trophy award.
He really established himself as a complete player this year. I think everybody knew he was solid defensively, but he's the whole package now. Conroy gets it to Iginla. Conroy again, back to the 52-goal scorer. Couldn't control it that time, and Morrison turned back by Conroy. Morrison trying to work ahead, lost it. There's McCammon, unable to get the puck to Iginla. Aslan has the stick knocked out of his hands. And Bertuzzi plays it in, and looks like to get a change for the Canucks. Morris works his way to center. Shot it in, and Jovanovski's back, and everybody in Vancouver breathes a sigh of relief. Well, that could have been a real blow heading into the postseason with a big 55. And a whistle stops play with 2:02 left in period 2.
Honey, what's with the sweater?
This is my lucky jersey from the year we won Pee Wee. Oh, yeah, you laugh now, but wait till I win.
You can win too with Tim Hortons Roll Up the Rim. Just like these lucky winners of GMC Envoys and Sony Home Theater Systems. There's still lots left and millions of other great prizes available to be won. So keep rolling.
Donut! I win! Yes, winner!
Well, there's a look at those gloves. Stay there if you can, guys. Go back. Yeah, thank you. Boy, that's great camera work, because look at the short cuffs. And there's an area right in here where you can get slashed between the elbow pad and the glove, and it's wide open. We saw that on that blow to Ed Jovanovski.
Face off. Jones plays it back in. Jovanovski, who is probably in a surly mood right now, works over Petrovicki and Linden. The slot and the puck out to center.
It was great camera work. Terrific when cameramen listen to you like that and help you out in the booth. That was a fine work.
I know you're going to say the play-by-play guy doesn't always listen to us. So. 90 seconds left in the second.
Doesn't always or never. Well, sometimes.
And now we've got Bill McCurry making a call. There was plenty of traffic in front of the benches. Is that what he's got?
Looks like he's got an interference call.
Both teams were in wholesale change mode. Somebody's got an interference call, and
Jovanovski's confused. Me? Not me. I didn't do anything. But, well, maybe you did, Ed. For what, he says.
Well, let's find out what.
For that, Ed. And I guess that's going to be interference, as the puck was nowhere near that play, and that's why he's there. Ed thinks it was a collision.
Well, I got it with Ed on that. I thought the Flame player had just played the puck. Been a rough sequence for him. First the slash, and now the penalty. And a late power play. And here's Cook sprinting away. Matt Cook with a step and a shot, and Vernon with the save. And Morris rides Cook off the puck. McCammon, he's checked by Linden. And now the Flames will get this power play organized as they look for the tying goal in the final minute of the second period. Orland shovels it back down the ice. Here's Conroy. Giving it to Kravchuk. DuPont, the youngster in his second NHL game, will man the right point, wearing 42. Here's DuPont, trying to get it in deep. LaChance knocked it down, and he'll clear it. Half-minute left, the lead pass, Conroy, Iginla, and it's called on an offside. Fans don't like the call, and I'm not sure I agree either.
Yeah, I agree with that one either. However,
we're not wearing stripes.
Let's have a look. Vernon advances the puck up there. He's tapped there. That one looked pretty good to me.
The face-off near the red line. Pulled back, and the Flames have 22 seconds to work with. 26-15, the Canucks have outshot Calgary. That pass out of Niedermayer's reach, and that's an icing call against Calgary.
game has slowed down. You know, Mattias Olin now has been switched to a left defenseman from a right defenseman, and he really likes him. He may try and get an opportunity to show it to you as he's been paired with Sopel for the most part during this big run. Now, he's on the right side right now, but he likes it because he doesn't have to go to his backhand as much, coming out from behind his net. An interesting little switch, one of the many that Mark Crawford has done during this second half run.
Face-off, controlled by Calgary. Nickel in the dying stages of this second period. Flames work it in, but don't get time to do anything else with it as the horn sounds to end period 2. The shots in the second, 14-6 in favor of Vancouver. And the Canucks score the lone goal. Brian Helmer with the marker from Morrison and Bertuzzi at 4:32. So we're through 40 minutes at the Pengrove Saddledome, and the visiting Canucks have a 2-1 lead.
If you want to do something successfully, you can always do with some help. You know, something to point you in the right direction and get you where you want to go. I learned that over a year ago when I used Nicoderm to help me quit smoking. It wasn't easy. I needed help controlling the cravings, but I did it successfully with Nicoderm.
Nicoderm, the patch most recommended by doctors and pharmacists.
I consider this the secret of my success.
Canada for legalizing VCRs.
Rick Mercer is talking to Americans.
It's a great thing to do.
Sunday at 9 on CBC.
2-1 Canucks over the Flames after 2 at the Saddledome. You know, Vancouver Canuck playoff tickets go on sale Monday at noon, and Brian Helmer of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario won't need to buy any this year because he's going to the playoffs for the first time, has the go-ahead goal. How does it feel to be in this league and contribute?
Well, it feels really good, you know, when you can put a goal in like that and contribute on the offensive, it's a bonus, so it's a nice feeling.
What has led to the gelling of the team over the past 20 games or so and drives you to the playoffs? What is it about the club, Brian?
I think we're just believing in each other. You know, every guy in that room believes in one another, and you know, our big line with Todd Bertuzzi and Mark Snaslin and Brendan Morrison are playing unbelievable for us, and then you got Dan back there staying tall every game for us. So I think, you know, and other guys contributing elsewhere too. So it's a nice feeling.
Congratulations on your success so far, and good luck in the playoffs, Brian.
Thank you very much.
Brian Helmer of the Vancouver Canucks has his 5th go-ahead goal as they lead 2-1 over the Calgary Flames. Coming up, Scoreboard Saturday with Ron McLean as he updates us on 8 games in the National Hockey League today, which have an effect on the playoffs. Brian Helmer, Sault Ste. Marie, makes it 2-1 Canucks over Calgary as we continue.
The roominess of a minivan. Capabilities of an SUV. The ride of a luxury car. Conjured up in one innovative package. The 2002 Buick Rendezvous. Buick Rendezvous.
I love this town.
Things like the latest fashions. Want to go to Subway? But best of all, great tasting bread.
Our new roasted garlic on Italian starts with classic Italian bread. Then we top it with garlic powder and spices and bake it all together.
Subway!
Last year, taxpayers received an average refund of $715. Did you get all you deserve? Now H&R Block will double-check last year's return free. We can file an adjustment. You could get more money back.
It's about time a few points got made about Home Building Center. We're Canada's largest home improvement retailer. No ifs, ands, or buts. Home has over 1,000 stores owned by independent dealers. We have competitive prices. We have lots of experienced people. We help you load up. And we back it up with our tough-as-nail service guarantee. Home Building Center. We've got your lumber.
Gina? You know, when I was first hired, we didn't have all these fancy integrated systems. Our sales program wasn't even linked with accounting. Warehouse platform in Chicago wasn't linked to anything, not even shipping. Back then, orders took days. Now they just take hours.
Wow, how long have you been working here?
A couple of months now.
When software solutions quickly connect all your business systems, that's one degree of separation. That's business with .NET from Microsoft.
note, Ray. You've got your cup, Ray.
Back to Bob Bond. The All Canadians win the Stanley Cup.
You're looking at a superb hockey machine.
He's got to be feeling on top of the world now.
Edmonton Oilers have won it again.
Right in front. They score!
The tradition continues with round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, starting Wednesday on CBC's Hockey Night in Canada.
Scoreboard Saturday, brought to you by Monroe Shocks and Struts, the leader in ride control technology.
Tonight on Scoreboard Saturday, that's Roger Nielsen acknowledging in his own mind 1,000 games behind the bench. Quite an emotional scene for Roger at the Corral Centre this evening, and for Saku Koivu and the Montreal Canadiens. The end of a marvelous regular season, made special by Saku after 3 years out of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The most dominant playoff team of all time is back in the hunt. Chicago Blackhawks are back after a 4-year hiatus. New York Islanders after 7 out. We'll tell you some of the stories about tonight in a moment.
Dogs never look both ways, which brings us to the safety triangle, the interconnected parts that enable you to stop, steer, and maintain stability. Ask your mechanic for a safety triangle inspection and quality replacement parts like Monroe Shocks and Struts. Save up to $75 off safety triangle parts or service when you buy Monroe Reflex or SensorTrack shocks or struts.
Welcome back. We knew that there were 16 teams into the Stanley Cup playoffs as the night began. We had no idea who would play whom. We have a bit of an indication. The Ottawa Senators found out tonight they'll play Roger Nielsen's old team, the Philadelphia Flyers, in round number 1 here at the Corral Centre tonight. Toronto defeated Rogers' Sens, but nobody cared. It was Rogers' 1,000th career game behind the bench. 460 victories along the way, as Harry Neal was saying. Add to that about 500 games as an assistant coach. His thoughts and handprints are all over the NHL for the past 25 years. A delightful night as Toronto wins 5-2 to get to 100 points for their head coach, Pat Quinn. Also tonight at the Molson Centre in Montreal, we televised the game between Buffalo and the Canadiens. Montreal just trying to get things organized for the playoffs. It was fan appreciation evening, and Saku Koivu is generous as he hands his sweater to a lucky fan. Buffalo won the game, however. Jose Theodore in net does fall to Marty Biron with those 22 saves for Biron. Sabres win the game. The Canadiens will face Boston in round 1 of the playoffs. Let's go around the loop. Pittsburgh into Boston. Byron Dafoe and the Bruins trying to clinch top spot. Sees Alexei Morozov score first, his 20th of the year from Randy Robitaille. Bit of a strange goal, but that was all in the way of bad news for Boston. The Bruins just roll after that. First of all, Brian Ralston, great feed to Marty Lapointe. Lapointe, 17th of the year. Kyle McLaren had the other assist. That's J.S. Aubin in net for the Penguins, 1-1. Glenn Murray then gets his first goal of the evening on a nice play here by Joseph Stumpel. Murray scores his 39th goal, and it's 2-1 for Boston. By the way, now with 39 goals, Murray trying to hone in on 40 and join Bill Guerin, who's already there, and adds this, his 41st of the year, from P.J. Axelson and Joel Thornton. 3-1 Boston at that stage. Ralston then scored his 31st. Sweeney got his third. Now Glenn Murray on a giveaway with a chance to hit 40, and he makes no mistake. That's his second goal of the game. Boston in command 6-1. And just to cap a perfect evening, the hat trick for Glenn from the slot as he notches his 41st goal in the year. So 2 40-goal scores for Boston. First time they've had that in 20 years. 101 points for Robbie Ftorek and the Bruins. First in the Eastern Conference. Here's Sebastian Charpentier, who has really paid his dues to get to the NHL, a former star in Shawinigan and Drummondville, playing for the Caps against John Van Beesbrook and the Devils. 1-0 New Jersey when John Madden scores his 15th of the year from Berglund to Zip. The Caps rally. Ulf Dahlin gets his 23rd on the year. That's typical Dahlin. He skates like Jeff Norton with the 2 feet at 10 and 2 o'clock. Dahlin's 23rd from Bondra and Gonchar. Then Sergei Gonchar scores himself, the NHL's leading goal-getting defenseman's 26th on the year from Yager, and it's 2-2. A guy the Caps really missed this year, Steve Konowalchuk, then gets his 2nd of the year from Witt and Dahlin. Konowalchuk makes it 3-2 for Washington, but the Devils aren't through. Andre Salomonson gets his 4th of the year from Bobby Holik. Bit of perseverance there, ties it 3-3, and now the Devils trying to move by Ottawa, looking for an extra point in overtime, and they get it. Scott Niedermayer's 11th from Salomonson and Gionta and New Jersey. leapfrogs into 5th position in the Eastern Conference as they win it by a score of 4-3. Philadelphia will host the Islanders tomorrow. The Isles have to win it to get back into 5th place and face Toronto. So 2-1 Philadelphia. That's how they clinched first place in the Atlantic Division. 2-1 they beat the Rangers today. Mark Recchi had the winner. Cechmanek in net. Here's Stéphane Matteau back in uniform after a concussion. San Jose playing Los Angeles. 1-0 for the Sharks on a Marco Sturm goal when Scott Thornton's 100th NHL goal and 26th of the year makes it 2-0. Bednash had cut the deficit to 2-1, and then Teemu Selanne gets his 29th of the year from Ragnarsson and Patrick Marleau. Marleau 2 assists. He's on a tear. San Jose's improved in the standings 7 consecutive years. 99 points for the Sharks as they beat the Kings by a score of 3-1. Here's how the St. Louis Blues clinch 4th place at home ice for the opening round. Chris Pronger's innocent-looking shot beats a tied-up Dominic Hasek in overtime. So Pronger and the Blues hand Detroit a 6th consecutive defeat. And St. Louis, with that 2-point performance, moves into 4th position. There's a look at the standings. Detroit will face Vancouver if the Canucks were to lose tonight. But that's about all we know. The Blues getting into 4th position, and then it's a real muddle with Chicago, Los Angeles, Phoenix, and Vancouver. And on the other side of the ledger, Boston, as we said, takes top spot. They'll face the Canadiens. Ottawa will start against Philadelphia, most likely Wednesday. That's not for sure. Toronto will start Thursday, we know that. Most likely against the Devils, but the Isles could still move into that 5th seed if they can win tomorrow at Philadelphia. So that's the story for now. Still work to be determined in Calgary. We can tell you the Stanley Cup playoffs on Hockey Night in Canada commences Wednesday.
Scoreboard Saturday, brought to you by Monroe Shocks and Struts, the leader in ride control technology.
It's time a bank helps you pay down your mortgage faster. With the CIBC Better Than Prime Mortgage, your rate is guaranteed to stay below prime for the length of your term to help you get what you want sooner. A mortgage you can pay off faster. CIBC. Smart, simple solutions.
Maybe we should wallpaper.
Yep, I'll get swatches. You look frazzled. I'll get out of your hair.
Chicken lovers are finding any excuse to get to McDonald's right now for our new Chicken Select Strips. An exciting new taste at McDonald's for a limited time. Tender, juicy pieces of all-white seasoned chicken breast served with your choice of plum or spicy hot sauce.
Honey, do we have a
trombone? No, I'll go buy one.
Exchanging information, that's the key to a successful business. In the old days, the way to share information was through a sneaker net. Today's businesses can't waste this much time, and they don't have to. With products like D-Link's DI713P, you can share files, printers, and even high-speed internet wirelessly. Boost your productivity and work smarter with a wireless broadband router from D-Link.
D-Link, building the networks of the future.
Link for less.
Visit us at dlinktv.ca.
Get more DVDs than ever before at Rogers Video.
We're back in Calgary. 2 are done. Brian Helmer and Jan Halavich for the Vancouver Canucks. They have a 2-1 lead over Calgary. It's Craig Conroy for the Flames. You go, Hugo. You want to talk about Tony Lidman and how good he's been for Calgary.
Boy, has this guy ever developed into being a great player. I want to show a play from that second period. We're going to see Henrik Sedin attacking the Calgary end, and there's Lidman. There's his stick. Greg Millen mentioned how active it is. Now he gets a stick down on the ice and breaks up that pass. You can see Bertuzzi's there ready for the one-timer. We'll take another look at it. And the reason why I want to show this is because I think Lidman has developed into being maybe the best defenseman on the Flames. And that, I mean a lot by that, by saying when they have all those good young defensemen. But here's a guy last year when he first started, I didn't think he was going to be that good, but boy, has he ever proven me to be wrong.
Yeah, and good company when you talk about guys like Robin Regier
Morris,
and Derek
Doce,
Morris.
all the young guys.
All the guys that are there. How about hitting the net if you're a defenseman? The main thing is not always to blast it.
That's right, because guys sometimes get their shots blocked or it goes wide, so I'm going to show an example here. Here's Henrik Sedin. He'll make a nice effort in getting the puck back here to Sopel, and then we'll see Sopel, like he should, walk to the middle of the ice, and then he'll wire the puck at Vernon. But it's not going to be a hard shot, and that's the key. Sopel's going to recognize that Henrik Sedin and Ruutu right here, they're now going to the front of the net, causing a lot of traffic in front of Vernon. So we'll see Sopel right there. Not a big windup, just a shot right on net, and now we'll see a lot of chaos in front. Daniel Sedin comes in front. That was a terrific power play shot.
All right, let's revisit the words of Ken King, the president and CEO of the Calgary Flames, when he said, no question, Jarome Iginla will be in a Calgary Flames uniform next year, and for years to come, we will match any U.S. offer.
Well, Scott, I have season seats here in Calgary, and I think that's terrific as a person that comes to all the games, and I think that's fantastic to hear. But what happens if Philadelphia or some other team, the Rangers, offer $8.5 million? Can they still do it? $9 million, who knows?
He said...
That's tough.
I know it is, especially for this team. There would have to be changes if they were going to...
yeah, they have to match in Canadian dollars, that's right. But still, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, let's hope he does. I can say that, can I? You're a Flame season ticket holder. All right, After Hours tonight. Of course, Jarome Iginla will be one of our guests. Here's our poll question on After Hours. Our last edition for this season, sadly. Who should be the NHL Coach of the Year this season? Should it be Scotty Bowman of the Wings, Bobby Francis of the Coyotes, Robbie Ftorek? They've done a great job in Boston. Brian Sutter's bounced back in Chicago. Michel Therrien in Montreal. And Mark Crawford has the Canucks on a late season second half run. Here's how to reach us. www.cbc.ca/sports/hockey. You follow the links to the After Hours page. Our email address, afterhours@cbc.ca. Phone us, 1-866-226-HNIC. That's a toll-free call. As we say, Jarome Iginla and Mike Vernon, double trouble tonight on After Hours. Brian Helmer, an unsung hero, has the go-ahead call as the Canucks lead 2-1 over Calgary. We'll be back in a moment.
Why just use Febreze on the dog bed? After all, lots of everyday odors aren't as obvious. At least to you. Clean away odors all over the house. And Febreze will leave a freshness you'll notice.
It smells nice in here.
The more you use it, the more you love it. Febreze.
Buying or selling a home? RE/MAX agents lighten that load. Averaging more than 13 years experience, they work the kind of practical magic that sets you free. RE/MAX.
They tested the Subaru Forester. They tested the Subaru Legacy. Now the Subaru Impreza. It's official. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety has given every Subaru they tested their highest possible rating. So would the world be a safer place if everyone drove an all-wheel drive Subaru? It couldn't hurt. Subaru, that's the beauty of all-wheel drive.
There's no question there's a tremendous appetite right now for news and context.
The anthrax threat continues to spread. The government is continuing to...
There's a reason we're called Canada Now. We do 5 editions a day, and we have the latest news up to the minute at 6 o'clock in each region of the country. My co-anchor Kathleen Petty certainly reflects the vibrancy of Calgary.
Incisive coverage. CBC News, Canada Now. Weeknights at 6 on CBC Television.
Why are RE/MAX agents so successful at helping you buy or sell a home? They're born with it.
Identify Tudor. Correct.
She'll make a splendid agent. RE/MAX.
Curling Championship Finals live on CBC Sports starting tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern on CBC.
Ready for the third period in Calgary. The Vancouver Canucks with a 2-1 lead. Peter Skudra stretching out, and he had to stretch out to make a couple of highlight reel saves in that second period. We start the third. Flames on the power play. Less than a half minute remaining in the Jovanovski penalty. Conroy along the boards. It's swung across and Morris misfired. And Cook sends the Calgary power play back. Change of the penalty killers for Vancouver as that puck is misplayed at the line. Hit man for Morrison. Mike Vernon out of the net. It's it to Kravchuk. Igor Kravchuk in the final year of his deal here in Calgary. Starts the play. And it has Conroy over the line. Into the slot. Picked off by Morrison. Back at full strength with Canucks. Puck set down the ice for Tuesday after it against Buchner. And Buchner got there first for the icing touch.
Well, two goalies that have had pretty darn good years for both teams not playing tonight. Roman Turek with over 30 wins in the year, and certainly that's always a good season when you can rack up that many wins. A big shutout last night against the Edmonton Oilers, and Dan Kluche, who really has come on to his own the second half. Talked to him this morning, said that he's calmed down a lot. Of course, a very intense person on the ice, but he's had to learn how to control his emotions, something that Andy Moog has helped him with considerably this year.
Andy, always a cool customer in the net. I wanted to mention that shutout by Turek, 5 on the year, ties a Flames club record. And he was outstanding in Edmonton with 36 saves. Tony Littman winds up. Littman over center, now Niedermayer takes over. Niedermayer to the net, Skudra steered it away.
You do have to feel bad for the Edmonton Oilers, who had a terrific year. They've racked up a ton of points, but it just wasn't good enough in this strong Western Conference this season.
They'll finish out tomorrow in Minnesota. Pass across out of the reach of Wright. Clark after it. There's Clark. He might get some extra attention in this third period after the slash on Jovanovski.
You know, they're a good young team. They're a terrific organization from the top down. Kevin Lowell has done a terrific job. Craig McTavish as well as the coach. I'm sure they don't want to hear that right now, but they're very disappointed. But they did an excellent job in Edmonton this year. And once again, racked up some points, but just came a little bit short.
We'll take a look at the Western standings. Vancouver recovering from their slow start to the year right up till Christmas. And now they can still move ahead of Chicago, Los Angeles, and Phoenix. They can finish as high as 5th. That would involve a Chicago loss to Columbus, an LA loss to Anaheim, and a Phoenix loss tomorrow. And if you're looking ahead to possible matchups, here's how they did this year.
It's not very encouraging, is it? However, the playoffs is a different season, particularly when you have a team like Vancouver, who has had their own different season the second half of this year.
I don't think many teams would mind going 1-2-0-1 against Detroit, though, although Calgary had a lot of success against the Red Wings with 3 wins this year.
That doesn't win you a playoff round.
No, but apparently you're writing them off just on regular season.
No, I did not say that.
You better clarify your position. 2-3 against Colorado and an impressive win earlier this week.
I mentioned that the Vancouver Canucks had 2 different seasons, if I remember correctly, moments ago. A much better second half.
Just want to make sure you're in playoff form because we're starting Wednesday night.
And the Ottawa Senators, I just wanted to talk about their record against the Philadelphia Flyers this year. They won 2, they lost 1, and they tied 1. 7-2 they beat him October the 25th in Philadelphia. They beat him 4-1 at home. At Ottawa, they tied 1-1 in Philly and won January the 30th 3-1 at Ottawa. So as I mentioned, the Ottawa Senators may not mind that matchup. They'd probably like it a little bit more than the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Trevor Linden just won another face-off. He's dominated in the circle tonight. Linden now 7 of 9. Greg Conroy's had a good night too in that department. He won 11, lost 5. Here comes Blair Betts. The youngster gets hit by Helmer as he crossed the line. And now Brian Helmer, who has scored tonight, Up ahead to Hlavich, who also has a Vancouver goal. Murray Barron to Linden. Trevor Linden, Andrew Castles, and Marcus Naslund were not available or not with the Canucks a year ago in the postseason. Three guys that are really going to add some veteran experience for this playoff run.
And you talk about experience, and that was one thing that the players talked about this morning in the locker room, is the experience that they gained by last year's playoff games, the 4 that they played. And Trevor Linden, of course, has had lots of playoff experience, so there's no problem in that regard. Marcus Naslund, who they'll love to have his goal scoring in the playoffs. But Todd Bertuzzi said to me, just getting that playoff experience and realizing how much fun it is really made me hungry coming into this year, wanting to make the playoffs so badly so I could have some fun again with it.
Here's Iginla trying to barge in, slowed up by Matthias Olin, so Iginla rides him hard into the corner. Conroy after it on the far side. Back in deep, Iginla. Olin's still there. Works him over. Iginla to his knees. Got the puck to Conroy. And there's still a wrestling match. Olin and Iginla continue to battle. And the puck backhand over the net. I can't believe they let that continue. Pretty good duel between Olin and Iginla. And Iginla with one little slash to the ankles as those two parted ways. Here's Naslund, 1 goal shy of 40 on the year. Jovanovski rolled it wide. Kept in at the line, LaChance on Vernon. And now the puck shot to center. Adam Subarov. Across LaChance. And the puck ricochets back to Jovanovski.
I think this is where we'll see Vancouver settle down a little bit in this third period and tighten things up. A pretty loose game by both teams, but Vancouver now would love to have this win. There's no doubt about it, because I'm sure they'd like to avoid the Detroit Red Wings.
Congratulations, Jim! Now you get to choose between the sleek German-engineered Volkswagen Jetta or a dream vacation to Paraíso Lluvioso.
Jim, the Volkswagen. Volkswagen. The Volkswagen.
I'll take fun in the sun,
No.
Sun for Jim. Yeah! You're going to the islands. Yeah! Fun in the sun!
Don't miss out on your Jetta. And with offers like this, you won't have to.
From the face-off, Calgary with the puck in the Vancouver zone. Clark Wright and Niedermeyer. Latowski, Chubarov, and Cook for the Canucks. And DuPont touches it for the icing call. Well, that was a great duel between Iginla and Olin just a few moments ago.
And this is the time of year that officials tend to close their eyes a little more than they would in January, February. And here is the battle. We'll see lots of these kind of battles by Olin. And Iginla with a little wrestle, Olin with a little bear hug. And then they part company, and then they go up the ice. A little tap just there to finish things off for good measure.
Well, Jerome was looking to finish with a rush to get to 100 points. Stuck on 96. Not a bad place to be stuck, though. And Art Ross Trophy awaiting him in June.
That's the heart, too. Theodore may be the other candidate that deserves a strong argument, but for me, it's between those two.
Sean Burke's a worthy third finalist.
Certainly honorable mention, but Theodore almost single-handedly put the Montreal Canadiens in the playoffs in the second half. He's been a star almost every night for him.
McCammon shot, follows for the rebound, comes up with the puck. And now Sopel turns it back the other way. Bertuzzi, nice move. He's got Sedin. Bertuzzi, break back in the glove of Vernon. Mike Vernon sprawls and robs Todd Bertuzzi.
Well, Bertuzzi and the Sedins really have some nice chemistry together when they do, in fact, get the chance to play together. And it's amazing when you give the puck away how often you get it back. What a nice first pass by Sopel. That sends Bertuzzi through the middle. You give the puck away, and then you go to the net. And Mike Vernon somehow got his arm on this. Let's find out how. There's the first play. And that puck was bouncing around and basically just bounced into Mike Vernon. And as you could see, Todd Bertuzzi had the whole net if that puck wasn't bouncing the way it was on him.
Bertuzzi with 3 goals against Calgary this season. He has an amazing 58 points since January the 1st.
Not bad. He said, you know, when you get on a confidence roll in this league, you just want to keep it rolling. But one of the keys is not to get too high when you're on that confidence roll. Keep your emotions in check.
You know, he's 2 years older than Jerome McGinley, but in a lot of ways similar years where they've started to realize their tremendous promise. McGinley will win the Art Ross, and you wonder if Bertuzzi's got that kind of season in him. Certainly proven it for a half year. The net knocked off, robbing Chris Clark of a scoring chance. But the Flame was the culprit, so the faceoff will come outside.
LGD, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Labatt Genuine Draft. You can bring home the great draft taste at a new low price.
When you think of Italy, you think of things like the latest fashions. Want to go to Subway? But best of all, great tasting bread.
Our new roasted garlic on Italian starts with classic Italian bread. Then we top it with garlic powder and spices and bake it all together.
Subway is fresh.
Nicorette Gum. Take it one craving at a time.
Subway has a new bread made with that bee guy's honey and his oats.
Oh, whoa.
Hey, Subway's this way!
Subway's new Honey Oat on Wheat starts with tasty wheat bread. Then we coat it with honey and oats and bake it all together.
Subway is fresh.
Well, grapes will be primed for the postseason. How could he not like the way these Canucks have been going? And they lead here 2-1 with 6.5 minutes gone in the third period.
We'll have our Atrium show again. And in the playoffs, Don will be there with Ron McLean, and Kelly Rudy as well will be giving us some solid advice from studio.
Buchner with the hit and takedown on Ruutu. Now Betts and Linden. Grab check, and here comes another call that the Flames fans don't like, and Bob Buchner heads off.
Subway has a new bread made with that bee guy's honey and his oats.
Oh, whoa. That can't be good. There's one right there.
Hey, where you going? Subway's this way!
Hi, guys.
Hey, Kelly. Mr. Honey and Mr. Oat.
Subway's new Honey Oat on Wheat starts with tasty wheat bread. Then we coat it with honey and oats and bake it all together.
Subway is fresh.
They're fresh baked, and on April 15th, they're free. That's right. Monday, April 15th, come down to Subway and get your own free fresh baked cookie.
Bugner's not only going to get a cross-checking penalty, but also an unsportsmanlike for yapping at Bill McCreary afterwards. Here's the whole sequence with Ruutu. Ruutu pins him down. They both get up. No penalties yet until there. And that cross-check draws the penalty, and Bob Bugner doesn't like it much as he's chirping all the way over. There's the extra one. 4 minutes for Bob Bugner.
So Vancouver 0 for 3 on the power play. They surrendered a shorthanded goal tonight. Looked good on their last advantage as they look for a little breathing room here in Calgary. Jovanovski back to recharge the power play. Bertuzzi's up front. Naslin, Hlavik, and Morrison also. Here's Jovanovski right in! Vernon another save. Loose puck, and Bertuzzi's stick was held up. Back comes Clark. Here's Chris Clark over the line. Lost it there. Bertuzzi comes back to reclaim it for Vancouver.
How about Mike Vernon's game? He has had a terrific game. Really, the fact that he hasn't played much all year and to be this sharp is remarkable.
39 years of age. He says he'd like to continue for another year. But it's uncertain whether or not the contract offers will be delivered to a 39-year-old backup netminder. This might be a statement game, though. There's another save and a penalty upcoming against Calgary. Out of the net comes Skudra. Here's the call. It's another cross-checking penalty. And a full 2 minutes of a two-man advantage for the Canucks upcoming.
What makes the Mazda B-Series truck a bestseller?
Zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
It looks great in white,
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
green,
Yeah, zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
blue,
Yeah.
and several shades of brown.
Yeah, zoom.
The Mazda B-Series truck, always in season.
Well, a young mistake by Mickey Dupont. This is definitely a penalty, and watch Todd Bertuzzi go down as he gets cross-checked from behind. No doubt about it, that's a penalty. You got to call that one. And Dupont will learn from those experiences. He hasn't played many games in the league, just a couple. That's when you have to hold your emotions in check. Vancouver calling a timeout here to create their setup for their 5-on-3 situation. And as you mentioned, Chris, a couple of minutes, a full 2 minutes. As long as they don't score, of course, for the 5-on-3. Mike Vernon having quite a discussion here with Bill McCreary as we look at the top line's numbers.
36 games together, and they have racked them up almost 4 points a game between them. And Bertuzzi and Morrison with points tonight. Naslund trying to extend an 8-game point streak. He's got the puck. In for Bertuzzi. Lost it, and it's off the glove of Jovanovski and down the ice. Quickly Naslund will move it back in. Linden now is out. Bertuzzi. 14 power play goals. Back to Naslund. Jovanovski. Bertuzzi parked in front. And the centering pass. Morrison scores! Brendan Morrison! 3-1 Vancouver.
This is quite a shot. Quite a shot by Brendan Morrison. Well, the Canucks will move it down low. Now stop it here, guys, because you're going to see Todd Bertuzzi here slide into the slot. Now, we're not going to stop it, but there is the rebound, and it ends up right in Morrison's stick. Here comes Bertuzzi sliding out, and the puck just lands right on Brendan Morrison's stick and right off the crossbar, or post rather, and in. That's a terrific shot, picking that rolling puck out of the air.
Well, his line mates have been encouraging him to use his shot more.
And they're going upstairs, but I don't even know why. This is the... I don't understand why they do this. Bill McCreary was in perfect position. Unless they've called down. I know you'd rather be safe than sorry, but clearly this was a goal. And now they're going to get the game going.
Talking to Brendan this morning about his old Michigan line mate, Bill McCult, who has been snake bit. Let's take one more look. Not much doubt. In that back bar is padded, as we established a few weeks ago, but
yes, we did.
Maybe they could put a little more padding on there.
That would look like it may have hit the mesh. You know, we've talked about that a lot as well, that the league has mentioned the fact that they'd like to put an extra mesh and hang it down, but they're concerned about skates getting caught in the mesh when players drive to the net, which is a good point.
So it's a 2-goal Vancouver lead with 11:14 to play, and the Canucks still on the power play, and they still have a 5-on-3 as another penalty was assessed after the goal. And they throw it around. Sopel exchanging passes in front off Halavich. And Vernon covers up and away we go. Scott Nickel. And Halavich. And Derek Morris drops the gloves.
Whoa. And he absolutely nailed Letowski.
Yeah, that's a mismatch. Letowski
out here.
Starting to battle back, but how often do you see this in a 5-on-3 situation? Well, Halavich has been escorted to the box.
Letowski survives that one. And good for him. He's not a fighter. He's a feisty player, but Derek Morris is a pretty big boy. And Letowski certainly not nearly as big in the size department.
Craig, that extra Calgary penalty on the board, it's number 20, but there is no 20 on the Flames. So it was a 5-on-3, but that will likely change with penalties upcoming here.
Letowski is 5'10", 178. And let's look behind the net. That's how the first fight starts. Nickel and Halavich. Nickel really didn't have Halavich didn't have a chance to get going. And here's this big bomb there. Ooh, the first one by Derek Morris on Letowski. Letowski really never had a chance to get going either, even though, as I mentioned, there's a big size differential. Derek Morris is 6'2", 10.
So the Calgary penalty box fills to the brim. Billy Sutherland and Bill McCurry sorting this out. And Letowski and Halavich in the box. And now Derek Morris leaving the penalty box. Looks like he's done for the night. So Morris is gone.
Nickel and DuPont, of course, still in. And Bugner was called initially for 4 minutes. And then DuPont got 2. So the first 2 minutes of Bugner's went away. Which created the 5-on-3 still, Chris.
Just trying to figure out who number 20 on Calgary is.
Well, that's the mystery man on the board on the clock, but that doesn't make any sense, obviously.
So it will remain 5-on-3. The manpower not altered by those 2 altercations. And they're still doing all the bookkeeping downstairs. And play back underway. Here's Jovanovski firing it. Kicked out. Toe stopped by Vernon. Right back to Jovanovski. Jovanovski to Naslund. Cross ice. Morrison missed on the one-timer. And it's fired around, and Jovanovski unable to keep it in. Spins off Conroy at center. At the line was stopped up and nearly lost it to Conroy.
I like the job Conroy does killing penalties.
Vancouver native Montador lost it. Here's Bertuzzi, shot, and Vernon got a piece of that. Bertuzzi gets his own rebound. Over it goes Naslund, fires, scores! Vintage Marcus Naslund, number 40 on the year.
You look at Naslund, and you think about Ginland. They both have the same kind of releases. And that's why they score as many goals they do. No backswing, very accurate, and they get a lot on their shot. Quick release, snaps it. And the whole key is the quick release. Not how hard it is, It's how quickly Naslund gets the puck off the stick in a hurry and where he puts it in the net. And that's why he has 40 goals.
Second straight 40-goal year. Marcus Naslund has 144 goals in his last 4 seasons. And in that span, only Pavel Bure and Tony Tanti were more productive as Vancouver Canucks.
There's a name from the past, Tony Tanti.
Guy who could find the back of the net, 4-1.
Did he ever?
Vancouver. And it's still going to be 5-on-3 for 22 seconds more. Back-to-back 5-on-3 power play goals by the Canucks, who fatten their power play advantage. Averages.
Yeah, I mean 5-on-4 here, I believe, Chris. DuPont will now come out. I think. Just double check this.
Well, another nickel minor starts, and Bob Bugner has 42 seconds left in his penalty. Naslund's 40th from Jovanovski and Bertuzzi.
Right.
So the Flames ended up with an extra 2 out of
that fighting. I was going to say, where did that 2 come from? Now I know.
And Derek Morris got an extra 10-minute misconduct. Here's Olin firing it. Kicked out by Vernon. Mike Vernon's had a terrific night. He's faced 37 shots, and we've still got almost 10 minutes to go. But the Canucks have broken it open, as they so often have done of late. Olin setting it up. Exchanging passes with Sokol. That shot blocked. Sokol will try it right on. Rebound kicked by Ruutu. And now Buchner back on the ice. It's 5-on-4. And play is stopped. But the Vancouver Canucks have put 4 on the board once again, and they have done that with great regularity of late.
You think about all those penalties. It started with Bugner's undisciplined penalty where he took an extra 2 for chirping. And then the next penalty, of course, was the cross-check in front of the net by Mickey DuPont. And that put the Flames down on a 5-on-3. They scored, and that kept them on a 5-on-3 because they scored during the first 2 minutes of Buchner's initial 4-minute penalty.
Canucks now 2 for 6 with the man advantage, 16 shots. 65 seconds remaining in the extra minor to Scott Nichol. And the Canucks on their way to being the highest scoring team in the National Hockey League. 254 goals on the year. And here they come again. Cook to Ruutu. Watched by DuPont. Brian Helmer across to Jovanovski. Fires it, and that just bounced wide of the open side. Helmer again. Tees it up and fires high. Jovanovski stepped up. McGinley will clear it down the ice.
Let's not forget Skudra's 2 big saves in the second period when this game was tied. And that provided some excellent goaltending for Vancouver at that point in the game, or this may have been a very different looking hockey game.
Offside called with 8:19 remaining in the third period. 14 seconds left in the Calgary penalty.
And Greg Gilbert quite frustrated with the way this night has come along, and right now he's giving it to Bill McCreary on the bench. Yep. Cup-bound cup. Canucks, well, certainly they're starting in the right direction.
Greg, those 2 goals came 68 seconds apart, and Canucks batting their averages. Marcus Naslund drew an assist on the Morrison goal, his 50th of the year, to go with 40 goals. So a 90-point season for Naslund. And Todd Bertuzzi has 2 assists tonight. So another multi-point game for Bertuzzi. 7th in the last 9 games for Bertuzzi at 85 points on the season. Naslund intercepting a pass. And Helmer to Barron to Morrison. Tony Lidman back in Calgary territory. Under 7.5 minutes to play. Lidman got by Naslund. Plays it in, still chopping at it to get it deeper. In behind the net, Barron fighting for it for Vancouver. Morrison in support. He flips it to the line and out.
I haven't seen much of Barron throughout this game as Mark Crawford plays for defensemen a lot now. He has done that for a while.
Here's Iginla warding off Helmer and putting it in front.
They just spot Helmer. And Barron, of course, Helmer does play on the second year of the power play.
DuPont, that bank pass out of the reach of McCammon, but right on goaltender Studer. Peter Studer with 19 saves in the game. Chubarov on the move, over the line. A left wing pass broken up by DuPont. Up ahead it goes. Here's Berube. Over the line. Unable to hook up with Petrovicki. Chubarov. Jarkko Ruutu to center. Should the Canucks meet the Red Wings in round one, it will be a matchup of the two highest scoring teams in the league. Are we getting more penalties? Looks
just
like
offside, I think.
Oh, 6:10 to go.
Maybe we are.
I was looking for the best control of wild oats. Dependable, reliable, consistent. I found it with Horizon. And I found something else too. Unsurpassed crop safety. With all the tank mix options I could ever want. And that's why I stepped up to Horizon. And I haven't looked back. Horizon is a step up in wild oat and millet control.
What is a red tag day, you say? It's a day you say goodbye old car and hello brand new Toyota. You've been waiting long enough. Roll film. Oh, look, there's your dream machine. Technology, style, and power. You know you love them. Right there's a 2003 model. Let's get you to Access Toyota Red Tag Days right now, and you can get a brand new Toyota. And I'll take care of the old car for you. Don't worry, I'm a very safe driver now.
When I see you all again, and you know that I can feel it, and the lights begin to glow, then you know that I'll see you tonight.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you by Standard Life. Standard Life. Investments, insurance.
Montador in the penalty box for roughing there. Oh, as he just suckers Ruutu. And those are the kind of penalties that the Flames are going to have to stop next year. Play a little more discipline.
Seems like most of this third period, the Canucks have been on the power play. 4 unanswered goals, the last 2. 5-on-3. Trevor Linden has 2 assists tonight. He's back out there. Daniel and Henrik Sedin up front. Helmer calls for it, gets the pass. Over to Jovanovski, cross ice. It will reach Linden. And now Helmer. Jovanovski, one-timer right on. Daniel Sedin shoveled it back the other way. DuPont after it, lost it. Linden has it. Jovanovski can't get it through Nickel. And it's fired around and down the ice. 5:20 to go in the game. 66 seconds remaining in the latest Vancouver power play. Next shot will be number 40 on Mike Vernon tonight. Jovanovski in deep. Only Sergei Gonchar with more goals from the defense than Ed Jovanovski this season. Chris Clark hit by Jovanovski. And Sopel hands it off to Morrison. Spinning off McCammon, back to Sopel and Olin. Over the line. Olin to set it up. Watched by Clark. into the slot and reaches Hlavich. Burton was knocked down and got his stick across. Did that hit the stick or the side of the net?
I think it hit the stick.
Wow.
Can't wait to see that one again.
No, if he just lost an edge or sent sprawling, likely the latter, and he still made a great stop.
He must be getting tired in there now. He hasn't played much all year, and he's seen a lot of rubber. Tonight.
Penalty to Monador is over, and the Vancouver native returns to the ice. And we're down to 4 minutes to go. Pass missed Ruutu, but Chubarov there. Ruutu tied up behind the net, and the Flames come away with the puck. Here's Conroy. Over the line, Iginla snaps the shot right on Skudra. Iginla with it again. Iginla went down, but gets up, the puck follows him right back. And doesn't that happen a lot this year? But the Canucks now take over. Ruutu up ahead, Chubarov couldn't control. Niedermeyer back. There's Iginla with it. On the backhand. Turns. Takes a long look. Fresh troops coming out, but couldn't get it to Scott Nickel. Along the boards. Niedermeyer hit. Nickel and Chubarov battle. Now Monador steps up. He was up on the wing last night. Iginla knocked down and a penalty coming up. As Jerome Iginla hit behind the play by Ruutu. And he'll hit off.
There's something about having all the comforts of home, including your bank. EasyWeb Internet Banking. Voted easiest to use. Banking can be this comfortable. TD Canada Trust.
Well, you walk around your corner, girl, come on back and don't pass all the further left in the corner right. Now slip the clutch, left out of man, and come on back around the left grand.
Take the woman on your right, link your arms, spin to the right. Very nice.
A Clarica agent can make sense of almost anything, especially your investments and insurance. Clarica.
Wishing and hoping and thinking and praying, planning and dreaming.
Get comfortable with a great mortgage from TD Canada Trust. It could mean the difference between 2 bedrooms and 4. Banking can be this comfortable. TD Canada Trust.
The reason why Ruutu has not played a lot in the second half is because, yes, he stirs a lot of things up, but he also causes a lot in terms of penalties. There's a sign, please don't leave. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with Jerome Iginla. In my opinion, he'll probably go to arbitration, and that's how this will be settled, unless the Flames can get him tied up somehow. But that'll be a tough sell.
Canucks have done a good job on Iginla tonight. Only given him 2 shots. Both have come in this third period. Iginla has said the next task for him is to be a consistent player at this level over a period of time, like Joe Sakic and Yager and number 66.
No, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
No, I don't think so.
He may not get 50 every year, but he's going to be an awful good player in this league for a lot of years.
Since he's the only 50-goal scorer this year, it's a sign that that's not an automatic. It's an elusive mark. Not like when you were playing goal.
There's a few of those hanging around every year.
There was not a 50-goal scorer, I believe, 3 years ago. So it's not unusual. But it will be just one man in the current NHL. Here's Kravchuk at the point. That shot blocked by Olin. Boy, Olin's been good tonight. And the Canucks get it down the ice.
You know, Chris, I know you had a big talk with Jim Poblitsky before the game, or actually this morning, about the future of the Calgary Flames, and they are doing a lot of work at the moment to try to sell some tickets along with Lanny McDonald.
You hear a lot of different stuff about the future of the Flames around the league, around this city, but Jim Poblitsky's been working diligently. He says the feedback he's getting has been extremely positive from current season ticket holders, future ones. And a nice closing crowd of 18,259 here tonight.
Sellout, which hasn't happened for a long time, in a very lively building also tonight. And you know one thing for sure, the Flames are really working on trying to get their season ticket base up. They've been at it for quite a while now already.
Power play done, and now into the final minute of the season for the Calgary Flames. Here's Niedermayer, side of the net, in front, and did Scooter make that stop, or did it get through? Shots with a great opportunity in front.
That may not have got through.
Now Buchner winding up, playing it back to Monador. This win will move Vancouver temporarily into 5th in the Western Conference. But the three teams behind them play tomorrow, and each will pass Vancouver should they win. Chicago against Columbus. Minnesota has Nashville, and Los Angeles has Anaheim. Countdown on. Peter Skudras had a solid night, and the Vancouver Canucks will finish the regular season with 94 points. And an impressive final tune-up for the postseason for Vancouver, and Mike Vernon distinguished himself with 35 saves in what might be his last start as a Calgary Flame.
Congratulations to the Vancouver Canucks. They had a tremendous second half, really a good year, period. And you know, in the playoffs, I know there are a lot of teams that are quite leery of playing the Vancouver Canucks because they can throw so many different things at you. They've got a good mobile defense, they've got some toughness back there, and they have 4 solid lines that can all score goals.
Canucks 94 points. They're 4 back of the Northwest Division winners, the Colorado Avalanche, who have 1 more game. Vancouver will finish 42 wins, 30 losses, 7 ties, and 3 overtime losses. 79 points. The final total for the Calgary Flames on the season. The Flames open the scoring tonight, and then 4 unanswered goals by the playoff-bound Vancouver Canucks.
Live on CBC from coast to coast, it's Hockey Night in Canada. Brought to you by Labatt Blue. A whole lot can happen out of the blue.